Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to the United Stand. I'm Mark Goldbridge and this is your Manchester United versus Bournemouth late night watch along and no Cunha in the squad. I've got to say I've known this for about an hour. I don't think I can say who I got it from, but yes, we can keep things quiet and I can give you the full details on what it is. So effectively there is no Cunha in the team. It's a precaution. It's what's been described as nothing to be concerned about, precautionary why he's not in the squad, and expectation is that it won't be anything too long term. But does that keep him out for the rest of the tour, considering we've got our final game against Everton on Sunday? And Mbeumo not in the squad either. We'll get the team out for you in a moment, but it is somewhat disappointing, I've got to say from the very outset, that neither summer signings are actually playing in our third pre-season game. There's only 2 more to go before we play Arsenal. So I'd say it's... Daniel says he's off to bed then. Yeah, I mean, I sort of get that in a sense, I suppose. I think it's very disappointing. Obviously, this is, you know what? We've been doing this for a long time. It's an amazing community, and it's a privilege to get up at 1:15 in the morning to spend it with a lot of you who will be watching it as a normal time in the US, no doubt. But I've done this for so long, and we've done this for so long together. And the big thing for me about pre-season is it can't turn into a PR tour. It has to be about work. It has to be about the pre-season. It has to be about the system, and it has to be about momentum, and it has to be about getting ready. How can it be about those things when the 2 players that we've brought in that need this more than anybody aren't actually available? So look, Mbeumo's not available because we brought him in late. And sorry, I'm just getting we're going to have the team on the screen for you in a moment. And Mbeumo's been brought into the team late, so he's not ready. And Cunha has some sort of issue where he can't play, whether that's a knock or whether it's precautionary. I would say it's a knock. So therefore, we're playing Bournemouth, who I think are the best team to play on this tour because of the way they play, and we're going to be utilising the players like Mason Mount, because Xerxes not even fit either. So it becomes a little bit of a meaningless Europa League group game where you've got there's no jeopardy, because what are we actually trying? Like, there is no Mbeumo, there is no Xerxes, and there is no Cunha, and it's massively frustrating because we're basically last season's team. And I know, and we've got an update on Cesco for you. Ben Jacobs is on the show tomorrow at 2 o'clock. I've been speaking to Ben. There's the lineup on the screen for you. Let me just go through that for you next. But we'll talk about Cesco in a few minutes. But this sort of serves 2 purposes, really, doesn't it? One, you can make all the signings in the world, but if you're not prepared, you're not prepared. And we're not ready for the season. We're not ready for the start of this season, are we? We can clearly see that from the starting lineup. Rasmus might be leaving. Mason Mount will be injured at some point, or he won't get picked. Ahmad's not going to play as a number 10. Bruno's in the midfield with Casemiro. I mean, for fuck's sake, I hadn't even seen that. Why? Why is Bruno in the midfield with Casemiro? I mean, did Agate and Mainu not play well the other day, or are we? I thought Amrim said something about picking teams for a longer period of time and starting to build systems. I mean, this just looks like a fucking reserve side. Luke Shaw, Maguire, and Yoro, and then Delo and Dorgu. I mean, it's a weird team. I've got to say, it's rotation, of course it is, but mate, it's pre-season. Why are we rotating? Why are we rotating? Why are we rotating then? Can you explain that one to me? Because we might pick up injuries. Oh, injuries that we get anyway. We're meant to be building momentum, mate. We're meant to be building. This is what pre-season's all about. Not fucking minutes in the legs. It's meant to be about building momentum, building the system, building patterns. I don't see that because I just see a reserve 11 with Bruno in the team again. Bruno can play every fucking minute, can't he? So, yeah, it's a little bit confusing in that sense. You know, it seems to me that we'll rotate certain players, but we won't rotate others. Rasmus started the last game. Ahmad started the last game. Bruno started the last game. Dorgu started the last game. But we won't start Delit. We won't start Mainu and Agate again. We'll go back to Bruno and Casemiro, which we know fucking won't work. Simon Stone has come out and said that Cunha has been ruled out due to fatigue. That's just a load of shite as well, isn't it? Really, it's disappointing, isn't it? Because what the other thing I was going to say is that injuries are going to return. Without a shadow of a doubt, we are going to continue to pick up injuries. Mazraoui's got an injury. Xerxes got an injury. Obviously, Anana's got an injury. And now Cunha has a knock as well. And we're just not going to... We're never going to... That's 4 players unable to play from our first team. And we're only on game week 3. And we're on pre-season game 3. Now, maybe other clubs have got 4 injuries, but I doubt it. I think 4 first-team injuries, and we're only on pre-season game 3, is a bit of a concern. Just to confirm to you the bench, by the way, Bienda, me, Delit. It's not me, by the way. I can't be in 2 places at once. Bienda, me, Delit, Fredrickson, Heaven, Leon, Munro, Collier, Fletcher, Kone, Mainu, Agate, Mantato, Williams, and Obi. And suddenly that squad looks a bit shit to me. Suddenly, that's your 11 and that's your bench, and it suddenly looks a little bit shit, doesn't it? You know, I look at the bench and I go, Delit, Heaven, Mainu, Agate. Obviously, we're missing Mbeumo, Cunha, Xerxes. So... this is what I mean. Like, people go, oh, Cesco, let's go, top 4. I go, nah, forget it. Like Luke says, couple of injuries and suddenly our depth is gone. Shows how many players we actually need still. I'm absolutely with you, Luke. I mean, I'm very, very positive about the signings of Cunha and Mbeumo, and I'm very, very happy about the signing of Cesco. But this is what happens time and time again in a transfer window, is that people start to get excited about 1 or 2 deals and don't look at the bigger picture. Injuries are still going to be a big problem for us at United. I mean, look, Xerxes only been at the club a year. He picks up a lot of injuries. Cunha has only been here 3 weeks. He's picked up a knock. Mazraoui's only been here a year. He started picking up knocks. The worrying thing for me about the injuries is that we already have established injured players, you know, but the new players don't take long to start picking up knocks themselves. So, yeah, I'd be surprised if we saw Cunha again on this tour, because the next game, like I say, is on Sunday. I'd be surprised if we saw Xerxes at all on this tour, if you wanted to see him. We should see Mbeumo on Sunday, but it's a pre-season game. We should still win it, to be honest. Yeah. Did you have a good sleep, Mark? You know, I tried to go to sleep at 9:30, and I thought, you know, I'll get a comfortable 3 hours, and it never happens. I think I was on and off a little bit. I feel better for it, and I would feel a lot worse if I'd stayed up. Yeah. Right, let me get some of your comments in. 5th place squad, amazed if we get Europe, says Steve Brown. They're pushing my buttons, says Keel. Let me just send this message. I've got an update on Cesco to bring as well. But yeah, I would agree with what Luke said. That squad and that bench and that first team there reminds us of just how much work there still is to do in that team. I mean, look, that team's not doing anything. It might win tonight, but what I'm saying is that team's doing nothing in the Premier League. That team's going to go and finish mid-table at best. And, you know, on the bench, there's nothing attacking. There's no one on the bench attacking because there's no Mbeumo, there's no Cunha, and there's no Xerxes. So the only changes I'd be looking at for that team that I'd be excited about would be Leon, Agate, Mainu. Do we need to see De Ligt? You know? But many of us have been saying this for a while, like, the team that finished 15th last year and the team that lost the Europa League final is still here, plus Cunha and Mbeumo. Like, we haven't actually changed that much when you think about it. So, right, I need to catch up on some of your comments anyway. Robbie G says he's trying to implement the system to the second team and create something solid. So if any of them come in, they're ready to go. It's about depth throughout the whole season. Robbie, that's a great comment, right? And I do agree with you. He's trying to implement the system to the second team so that if he needs to use them, they can come in, right? That's really good. That's a great, great, great idea if your first team has implemented the system. You know, it makes absolutely no point. You know, it's like having a reserve car in a Formula One team when you haven't built the first car. And riddle me this. Why are Bruno and Casemiro playing in the midfield? Bruno's played every game of pre-season, and he's playing again. Ahmad started on Saturday night. He's starting again. Rasmus started on Saturday night. He's starting again. So why are we playing Bruno and Casemiro in the midfield and we can't play Agate or Mainu? Why are we not playing Bruno with Agate? Or why are we not playing Bruno as a 10? I mean, Mason Mount's a fucking waste of time. You know, I don't really see the point. But look, I may be a bit irritable because I've just got up. I will calm. I'm not. I don't need to calm down. West Ham have just beat Everton 2-1, by the way. But yeah, 5th place squad. Amazed if we get Europa, says Steve. Mark, they're pushing my button, says Keel. Setup is super weird. None of my mates guessed this, says Bisson. And Mbeumo basically isn't getting a pre-season with us, says KY. I think he'll get some game time on Sunday against Everton, to be fair. Find out who's starting against Arsenal, says SK. We've had a membership gifted by Jaden. Thank you very much, Jaden. He's trying a defensive team tactic, says King. Can't wait not to see our newest players. Champers, says Tom McBride. Got my premium membership gift from the club, and it's exactly the same thing as last season. What has this club become, says Stuart Walker? Oh, you could have told us what it was. Did Cunha get a knock? Yes, Andre, he has. Super Yacht, welcome to the members club. Ben, welcome to the members club as well. Really appreciate that. Did you hear Shaw's comments on winning the Prem? Well, being as he said it to us on the United stand, Sam, yes, I did. We reacted to that this morning. Let me give you the latest on Cesco, by the way. I think I'm okay to share this because I think Ben Jacobs has already put it out. So we've got Ben on at 2 o'clock tomorrow, so I don't think I'm speaking out of turn here because we were messaging each other a couple of hours ago. So I asked him a question, basically. I said, I don't understand why, and this is a question that many of you'd asked, and you know, Ben Jacobs is on the show at 2 o'clock anyway, but I did ask him this question. So it's a little bit of an update on the Cesco situation. So I said to Ben, it's looking very promising on Cesco, although I didn't really understand why Fabrizio is saying that Cesco needs a few days to decide, when it looks like we've already decided on him and he's already decided on us. And Ben said it's a little bit more complicated than that because Newcastle have told Leipzig that they will essentially pay what it takes. So Cesco favours United but doesn't want that necessarily out there publicly because if he ends up going to Newcastle, it causes him a problem. Newcastle effectively could just offer £70 million now, get an acceptance from Leipzig, and that forces United to either match it or walk away. And then who knows what would happen. And then Cesco might be just left with one choice if United walk. So effectively, I think Cesco is playing his cards close to his chest to see what Man United do in the next couple of days, which is exactly what I said on the 8 o'clock show. I feel like Cesco wants Manchester United. Obviously, we want him. We had that Ornstein update. But the reason Romano is probably saying that Cesco is going to take a few days is not because he needs to take a few days, but because Newcastle could bid 70, and if United don't match it, and he declares he wants Man United, then he's up the creek without a paddle, really. So it's interesting to see what Newcastle do, because if they do put that big offer in and we can't match it, he might have a decision to make. So yeah, that's sort of where we are at the moment. I suppose I'll have to wait and see what happens with that. There we go. If you're tuning in a little bit late, 11,000 of you are here at the moment, although many of you weren't late. Cunha is not in the team. He's not in the squad. That is your team. And Cunha is not even on the bench. He has fatigue. And it is precautionary. So there you go. What are your thoughts on that? Acid23 says, 2 years ago, we spoke and I said we got rid of Cavani, Martial, Greenwood and Ronaldo for Rasmus and it wasn't enough. Now a swap deal with Rasmus and Cesco. What happens with fatigue, injury and form, says Acid23. Well, I think that's a very intelligent comment there. I mean, we've got a new signing in Cunha who can't play today, therefore can't continue his development and preparation for the new season. And it's only 3 weeks into pre-season and he's got fatigue. So what are we going to do to Cesco when he has no pre-season and he's playing every week because we've got rid of Rasmus? How long before he gets injured or fatigue? Same with Mbeumo. Like, I come across as arrogant when I say this, but I don't mean to be arrogant. I just mean to tell the truth. We are not getting rid of injuries. Like, injuries are not going anywhere. I obviously have decent connects in certain areas of the club, as is confirmed by some of the stories we broke this last 6 months. And the changes in the medical department aren't there. Like, it's something that many of you have spoken about for probably 3 years. We need to do this, we need to do this. And it's almost been forgotten. It's certainly been forgotten by the club. They're not revamping that area. So our medical department is still pretty much the same as it was. And on top of that, we've still got players that pick up injuries. They can't suddenly press a button and go, I'm not injury prone. So we're going to pick up injuries. The concerning thing for me is that Xerxes, Cunha and Mazraoui are all relatively new players. So we don't know the extent of what's wrong with Cunha. It's fatigue. Maybe he will play on Sunday if it's just fatigue. Maybe he won't. Isn't this lineup we used for the Europa League final besides the goalkeeper? Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. I'm checking it now. So the team for the final was Onana, Shaw, Maguire, Yoro, Dorgu, Casemiro, Bruno, Mazraoui, Ahmad, Mount, Rasmus. Wow. It's only Onana and goalkeeper. I've got to tweet it. Wow. Didn't take long for us to be reminded about that, did it? So it's the same midfield, it's the same front three, and it's the same 3 centre-backs as well. So the spine's completely the same. Will says it's a pre-season game, chill out. Oh, mate, I can't be arsed with people like you. I'm sorry. It's 1:30 in the morning, and if you want a bit, let's do it. Let's make the show interesting. Let's have it. Come on. Come on. I'm not going to be a hypocrite on this, Will. I'm sorry. I'm not having this. It's a pre-season game, bollocks. Let's lose it. Come on. Let's fucking have it. Come on. Let's do it. Shall we do it? Let's do it. In the name of entertaining debate, let's do it, Will, right? I said this before the Leeds game. I said it after the Leeds game. I said it before the West Ham game. I said it after the West Ham game. And I said it on the West Ham preview. I do not want to hear people saying it's a pre-season friendly. What did we do for most of last season? You can't criticise Amorim. You can't criticise Amorim. He needs a pre-season. All these people saying Amorim out. He needs a pre-season. You can't criticise Amorim. It's not his fault. He needs a pre-season. We can't criticise Amorim. He needs a pre-season. We have a fucking pre-season. Oh, don't worry about the team. Don't worry. It's only pre-season. So pre-season's gone from being the reason that Amorim doesn't get blamed for last season to now, oh, it's only pre-season. Doesn't matter. He doesn't even need a pre-season. So, yeah, Will, I'm sorry. I know you're bearing the brunt of it there, but these absolute prats who say it's only pre-season, it's not that deep. What? It's only pre-season for a football club that can't play a manager's system, played fucking awful last year, finished 15th, embarrassed themselves in a Europa League final, and we're now going to say it doesn't matter what team he picks, it's only pre-season. Of course it's bloody important. I absolutely am on board with people who look at that 11 and go, shit, that's a reality bite. It's basically the Europa League final team, and we're playing Arsenal in 2 weeks going into a new season. Look, if that team goes on the pitch and plays good football and plays in the system that we want them to, yabba dabba do. Brilliant. That's what we're going to have to see. But, you know, I think it's a little. I think people can be a little bit concerned that we're pretty much picking the Europa League side in our third pre-season game, and I think that the intelligent people, really, the reason intelligent people are a little concerned is because we are not ready for the new season and we have not done enough business. And in fact, I mean, look, I can see Harry Maguire walking out to do an interview now. My big concern with this is that you put in a mic in the hand of Harry Maguire or Luke Shaw or Mason Mount or whoever, and these are all players that were here last year. All they can do, bless them, is hold a mic and go, yep, training's been really good. The lads are really working hard. We're really determined to put last season behind us. It's been an amazing trip. I'm telling you now, we're all buzzing and there's a real togetherness and we're really hopeful we can have a good season. Vibes, basically. That's all they can offer. And I'm not criticising them. That's all they can offer because they're basically the same set of players as last year being asked to, you know, basically polish a turd. So that is my concern. Amorim can pick whatever fucking 11 he wants. It's not like he's got loads of choice. But the absence of a goalkeeper, the absence of a midfielder, obviously there's still ongoing absence of a striker. Yes, Cesco might sign for us, but he's not here now. I mean, why you'd be sat there going, oh, yabba dabba do, it's great. We haven't got Cesco yet. Like, the big concern here, Will and everybody, is that we're not ready for the start of the season. We haven't filled absolutely essential positions, and we're picking the Europa League final team over halfway into pre-season. That is not preparation. And people can say, well, it's rotation and it's only pre-season. Did he have all these players last season? Yeah, every single one of them. Every single one of these players he had last season. Where's the new players? Where's the new players for him to work with? Well, Mbeumo can't play because we didn't get him in time. Cunha's got a knock and that's it. So, look, hopefully we're going to get an enjoyable win. It is only pre-season. Maybe Casemiro and Bruno will work like it did against Villa in the last game of the season. But I'm looking for markers. I'm looking for the match reaction to say, yeah, we're moving in the right direction. It's exciting. And even on the bench, you know, if there was 11 players on the bench that were really exciting, I'd be going, I can't wait for them to get subbed off. I look at the bench and there really isn't that much on the bench either. So I'm concerned as a viewing spectator about what's to come next season, because that doesn't inspire me unless it goes out there and plays really good football. Surely playing defensive wing-backs, changing the style of the system compared to playing attacking wing-backs like Ahmad in that position, says Super Yacht Stokey. I think there's tactically, I think there's a lot in that to discuss. I spoke about wing-backs on the 8 o'clock show. Well, it wouldn't be last night now, because last night technically was the 8 o'clock show a few hours ago, but it was the night before. And I said about the wing-backs, that's the most important area in an Amorim side. That's why he plays 3 centre-backs, because he uses his wide players as wing-backs. Obviously, Dorgu is going to play on the left-hand side, but we're back to Delo on the right-hand side. Now, we've had a bit of a debate in the community about this, about how it will be Ahmad. It's Bournemouth. It's Bournemouth and it's Delo. Now, you might go, when you go to Anfield, we'll play Delo and be a bit defensive, but I would have thought against Bournemouth, when it's a new role for Ahmad, he would be playing right wing back. It's pre-season, as Will says. What an opportunity to get somebody used to a role that they don't really play that often. But no, we put Ahmad back to 10, and we bring Delo in, and we put Bruno into the midfield again. And I'm like, Bruno's just scored 2 goals at 10. I would give Bruno the 10. Lucia says we need to give everybody time. No, we don't. Well, I've never heard such shit in all my life. We don't need to. No, we don't. No, we don't. We don't need to give everybody the same minutes. It's not under 11's fair play time, mate. It's Manchester United trying to turn around one of the shittest seasons in their history. Don't need to give everybody fucking the same minutes at all. You could give the reserves half an hour at the end. Don't need to give them fucking 70 minutes. Absolute bollocks. Give them a behind closed doors game next week against Wrexham. Don't need to give them don't need to give everybody fair game time. We're trying to build for a season, mate. Try and get your best team out as much as possible, or try and put people in the positions that you're going to pay them. Jimmy's made a great point, and it suddenly made me instantly feel very positive. He says, I think you're forgetting how lean everyone looks. Well, I tell you what, did you not see the MUTV commentary on Casemiro? I've never heard such embarrassing commentary all my life. I can't remember what the words were, but it was terrible. It was absolutely. They were talking about his weight. That they were basically knocking one out to his weight. Just miserable at United at the moment, trying to cope, says Will. Don't worry, Will. It's absolutely fine. This is what the community is all about. We're going to get flagged by Bournemouth because you can't use the same car that has its wheels popping off and expect it not to break down. Haven't looked at the Bournemouth team, actually. Let me have a quick look at that, because we will be able to get it on screen for you at some point. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. We're really close to 130,000. We're about 100 away. Thank you very much for that. So let me have a look at the Bournemouth lineup here. So Petrovic, Araujo, Senesi, Ivan Nilsson, Dango, Tavernier, Sola, Hill, Semenyo, Zabanani, Philip. I don't know what's happened to Clivert for them. And don't they have another winger? Am I getting them mixed? Don't they have someone called Sinistara as well? Maybe I'm getting that mixed up. But why does Mount escape criticism from the media, says Jaff? Probably could. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I tell you what, you just got yourself blocked, and you know who you are. Auckland FC's Paulson on the bench up the port, says Christian. And Amorim lost to a Tottenham side that didn't have their best players that everyone predicted he would beat. By far most responsible for this window, says Ben. Ooh. Feel bad for Amorim. Ownership has let him down, says that guy Beto. Look, I think that I think for me, my big disappointment here is that we're just not ready. The injuries are going to come, and you could say they're here already. But the big disappointment for me is that I'm looking at a side that's basically the Europa League final team, and I'm going, is that it? Is that it? Like, do you think Isaac joins Liverpool this summer, Mark? Yes. Peter says maybe Amrin picked this 11 to send a message. Hope we get to see Kone playing, says Andre. I thought Amrin was going to play Ahmad at right wing back so that he can adapt to this position. Low at right wing back is not the solution, and that midfield is a problem, says Nigel. I know it's 1:40 a.m, but come on, man, less of the negativity. At least we get to watch some football. Hopefully these lot have been training well, says Mac. No, Mac, no. I respect you, but you can't tell me how to think. I'm not happy with that team. I'm not happy with that team because it reminds me of a season I want to forget, and it reminds me of a Europa League final that I'll never get over. I don't think Amrim's done it on purpose, but I find that 11 insulting. I don't want to see any reminder of that 11 that played in that Europa League final. And that, to me, is a big... I mean, I wish it was a message. I don't know whether Amrim's figured it out. Maybe it is a message to the board. Maybe he is that intelligent. So, you know, I don't like looking at a team like that 2 weeks out from Arsenal. But the thing is, I'm not looking at the bench and going, oh, you know, he's just giving the reserves a run out. Because, all right, De Ligt would probably start, but you can't tell me Agate and Mainu are going to start. So, if Cunha and Mbeumo are back, I'm sure they both start. But is it enough? Like, I'm just... honestly, I'm genuinely not happy with the goalkeeper situation. I'm genuinely not happy with the midfield. And that's got nothing to do with Cunha and Mbeumo. I'm sure many of you are disappointed that you can't see Mbeumo. And I'm sure many of you are really pissed off you can't see Cunha. And I'm disappointed as well. But I'm actually looking at other areas of the team and going, what are we doing at wing-back? Why is Ahmad not playing wing-back again? He needs to get used to the position against a very attacking left-hand side from Bournemouth. And we've put him at number 10. Dalot's in the fucking team again. And we've got Casemiro and Bruno in midfield. And we've got Heaton in goal. So there's areas of that team that I'm just sort of like, Mark's up at 2 a.m. watching pre-season, says Sky. Yeah, we've sort of done it for 10 years, mate. I don't know why the laughing emoji's there. We're going to get flagged by Bournemouth because you can't. You've done that one from Eric Edwards. Thank you very much for the super chats that have been coming in, by the way. Please do subscribe to the channel. I need to change this, I think, but let me just double check. Kickoff is in half an hour. Well, just under 40 minutes. Yeah, we're 200 subscribers away from 130,000. So please click and subscribe. Get involved with the United Stand. You're very, very welcome as always. And we're live every morning at 10 o'clock, every night at 8 o'clock. And we have a 2 o'clock show, which I never seem to mention as part of the schedule. So thank you, everybody, for that. The team is on the screen. As I said, Cunha is out with what you would say is a knock. They're calling it fatigue. I don't know what fatigue is. I've never, ever had that. I mean, it's either an illness or it's a knock because I don't understand what fatigue is. I've never had it in my life. Well, I've had it when I've had the flu, but I don't think I'd be putting my hand up to the manager and saying I can't play in the game against Bournemouth because I'm tired. I mean, bloody hell, I used to play... I'd be up at 6 o'clock in the morning for a paper round, go to school, every lunchtime play football there, get home, go down the park and play football, come back, have my dinner, then go and train with my team. You know, I don't think we ever got tired. So, and I don't think Cunha strikes me as the sort of player that would be tired either. So I don't know what fatigue actually is in the modern day, unless he's got an illness. It seems like it's a bit of a funny one, but I think it's a surprise. I certainly think when I got told it about an hour ago, the person who told me was like, it's not being described as an injury. So, yeah, bit of a funny one. But I just wanted to double check something here as well. Let me just do it. So, who did Bournemouth play? They beat Everton, didn't they? So... They beat Everton 3-0. And Everton have just lost to West Ham as well. I mean, if you're interested in winning this tournament, which I'm not massively, just having a look at the... I don't know. If anyone can tell me, let me know. How many changes Bournemouth have made? It's strange, actually, that I can't find the lineup for that. But I don't know that Bournemouth have made that many changes, but that would be quite an interesting thing. If anyone's got the team sheet for Bournemouth from the game they played against Everton on the same day that we played West Ham, we've made a lot of changes. How many have they made? Be interested to know that. Mark, it's 2:52 in Denmark, and I'm watching the United stand, loving it. Thanks for this. Did you get any sleep? All the best, says Nick. Well, I did the 8 o'clock show. 31,000 people watching live, incredible. And then I got into bed at about 9:30, and I got up at 1. So I was in bed for 3.5 hours. I don't know that I slept for 3.5 hours. But I feel better for that than going all the way through. I think that would have been a problem for me. Bournemouth have made 5 changes. So we've made Heaton, Yoro, Maguire and Shaw didn't start, did they? So that's 4. Delot didn't start, 5. Casemiro didn't start, 6. Mount didn't start, 7. So we've made 7 changes, haven't we? Yeah. We should buy Alex Paulson as a goalkeeper, says Finn. Mark, it's 2:52. Done that one. Corey, thanks for being a member for 43 months. How much of a car crash would Mount be in the pivot? Suspense. Probably no different than Bruno, really. I mean, people talk about Bruno playing in the pivot for Portugal. He doesn't really. People talk about Bruno playing in the midfield for Sporting. He played in a 4-3-3 to the right-hand side. He's not really this. Some people saying it's a risk of injury. I don't actually think you know what you're talking about, really. I just think some of you are toxically positive, and just because people have a different opinion to you doesn't mean they're negative. I'm looking at that team. I don't like it. The reason I don't like it is because it really hits home how shit we've been in this window. Amram can pick whatever team he wants. Maybe he's doing it because of injury risk. Maybe he's doing it to give everybody some fair time. Personally, I think he should be trying to pick his best team every bloody game because he's only got 2 weeks till Arsenal and nobody understands his system. But look, maybe it is injury risk. Maybe people are in the red zone. Maybe he's got to manage minutes. You know, I get that. But my biggest issue is Cunha's not playing and Burmo's not playing, and we've basically done no business. And we finished 15th. So you know, and also Bruno played against West Ham. Dorgu played against West Ham. Ahmad started against West Ham. So you're telling me that Agate, who's 25, and Mainu, who's 20, can't play today? I don't know why we're not picking them there. I don't know why we're not picking Wan-Bissaka at right wing back. Cheers from Canada. Sorry, not Wan-Bissaka, Ahmad. Get in, Mark. Cheers from Canada. Should we dread this upcoming season or look forward to it? We should look forward to it, Nath. Really. Otherwise, what else have we got? I'll tell you what, some of you need to go to bed because we'll just start moving you out. There's people in the chat going, there's nothing wrong with the team. Nothing wrong with the team. He can do what he wants. I'd rather he just went. You know, the 8 o'clock shows are so good. Everybody's on the same wavelength asking really good questions. I don't know whether it's the time of night. I don't know whether like there's the IQ drops after midnight, but some of you are painfully frustrating to listen to the same nonsense of he can pick whatever team he likes. It's only pre-season. Get in, Mark. Cheers from Canada. Thank you very much. MX, 14,000 views at 151. Also, it's a friendly. All I would say to those prats, as Najib says, is I will get proved right. I will get proved right. 100% I'll get proved right. That team ain't doing anything this season in its current setup. We ain't getting 5th. We ain't getting anywhere near it. We are going to struggle this season because not enough has been done to that team over the summer, and we're not ready for this season. Now, there are still a few weeks to do a bit more business, and we're very positive around Cesco, who will be an improvement, but we're not going to have a good season. It's as simple as that. And I just love the block button. And I can't believe, maybe you're pissed, maybe you're on drugs, maybe you're lacking sleep, but I can't believe that people would say, absolutely, I'm happy with this team. I'm happy with where this team is heading. Payne says, if we start the bidding for Cesco or any other players, you should start a tally 1 mark per day on the whiteboard behind you until they are signed. Oh, well, I don't need a tally, mate. It starts, I'd say, day 1 of Cesco is today. When Ornstein drops it, that's day 1 for me. Has Mbeumo not had his full pre-season yet? At least Man Utd play. He looks great in pre-season. Why are we playing these scrubs, says Owen. Well, let us know what your thoughts are on the team. I've had my say. You lot can have yours. What are we expecting from the team? Well, Delo and Dorgu can get forward. Shaw and Maguire have got Yoro with them, so they should be okay. Casemiro and Bruno in pre-season, it can work. I mean, look, I'm not what I am going to say. I'm not going to say that we're going to get run ragged because it's pre-season. Pre-season Pirlo, Casemiro might roll back the years. I don't know, but Rasmus might score a hat trick. Mason Mount might, we might be getting headlines of finally the number 7's arrived. I mean, pre-season can be weird. We could win 4-0. We could play really, really well. But United BT says, what's the issue with this team? Can someone else explain it to him? Because I have spoke about it a lot. Hi, Mark. It's not my birthday. Can you call me a prat? Says Ivan. Thank you very much. Shahin says 300 interviews wasn't enough to send a message, says Shahin. HS says, I stayed up to see Mbeumo, Cunha and Xerxes. Instead, I get to see Mount, Shaw and Rasmus. Great. I feel bad for ownership, for Amorim, sorry. Ownership has let him down. Thank you very much for that. My wife is about to give birth to our 6th child. I'm a bit conflicted on what to watch. Love your work from South Australia, says Owen. Well, basically, get up the goal end. No, don't go down the goal end. Get up the head end of your missus and talk to her and hold her hand whilst watching a screen of the match. Don't want to be down the other end. The only goal you want to be watching is the one on the screen, not down there. Hampton says, because I work night shift in the States, I'm able to watch every single live show. Get in, says Hampton. Thank you very much, pal. Thanks for your super chat. Kian's given us a super chat as well. Bruno playing next to Casemiro in the midfield might work today, but not over a 38-game season. Bruno might be our best player, but as a team, we lack balance with him playing in the midfield. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. Let me just do this. Well, it'd be interesting to see how that midfield works. I mean, I would never sit here and say it's going to be an absolute shambles, because time and time again, you don't necessarily know that's going to be the case. But that's the team on the screen. We'll have to see how it pans out. McElvis says, everyone entitled to an opinion, but we're 2 weeks away from playing an improved Arsenal. We've only made 2 signings, neither of whom are playing tonight. It's a shambles and we are in trouble. We're not worthy. We're not worthy. That needs to go on the wall. Put it in the Louvre. That's why McElvis needs an absolute applause, because that comment is absolutely brilliant. I look at that United side. We're playing Bournemouth in half an hour in our 3rd pre-season game. Arsenal 2 weeks on Sunday, first Premier League game. 9 of those players started the Europa League final against a Spurs side that had 3 of the best players playing and lost. And as McElvis says, absolutely spot on, everyone's entitled to their opinion and everyone's entitled to say it's only pre-season, this, that and the other. But some of us didn't enjoy last season. Surprise, surprise. And some of us expected a reaction from the ownership to prepare us for a new season. And some of us have seen the volume of signings that Arsenal and Liverpool have made, 2 of our biggest rivals. And you're sort of looking at United and you're going, Akil's just said, relax, he's resting them. Resting who? Who's he resting? Who's being rested? The new goalkeeper? The new striker? The new midfielder? Who's being rested? My God. Wow. You need to get some sleep, mate, because you're going to pass out from delusion. It's a brilliant point. I think that pre-season was something that I spoke about every week we lost last year. I basically would come onto the stream and say, see, hammer him out. And I'd go, you can't be hammer him out. He's not had a pre-season. He needs a pre-season. And here is the pre-season. And the question is it a pre-season that we're actually improving in? Or is he just being asked to use the same players again? Watch this group shock everyone and get top 4. They always do this in the years we don't expect it, says Irish. I hope you're right. If I'm honest, I don't feel like this team is worth staying up for. There probably is a level of improvement, but not going to be impactful, says HP. We'll probably win 6-0. Arsenal going for Eze, says Super Sub 2005. Dodson staying up to watch the game. Thank you very much. Make sure you give us a follow if you are new. Thank you for everyone who's tuning in. Dino as well. Live on YouTube and on Twitch. So thanks everyone who's tuning in on Twitch as well. How you doing, Mark? This is Andrew. Good. The battle of the chats here. Keith, thank you very much. Coffee is on, and I'm glad you're here with us, Mark. Ah, Brody, that's where I've dropped the ball. I used to always make myself a coffee for these ones. I'll be all right. McElvis, anyway, you've made the best comment of the evening. Everyone entitled to their opinion, but we are 2 weeks away from playing an improved Arsenal. We've only made 2 signings, neither of whom are playing tonight. It's a shambles and we're in trouble. Donnarumma to Man United. Would you like that transfer, says Gary. Gary! I would love it. Absolutely love it, to be honest with you. But I don't think it'll happen. Morning, Mark. Really enjoyed the Cesco walking video today. It was very nostalgic. Brought me back to when you started and were walking, says Simon. I did do the walking along reaction to Cesco story earlier on. I don't know why. I don't know what happened with my phone. It was like filming on a Nokia 3210. It just stretched me out for some reason. I don't know why. Shirias says, Hoyland and Cesco competing for games with Obi sent on loan. Newcastle should go for Nunez if Isaac goes. Somehow feel Nunez would succeed at Newcastle, says Shera. I think Darwin Nunez would be a very good signing for Newcastle, actually. I think that's a very intelligent point. But Newcastle will feel they're being mugged off and they'll go mad about it. So I don't think it'll happen. Carney Fisher says, unexpected stream getting me through the night. Thank you very much. Evan says, how are you feeling about the transfer links currently? And is there anyone you think United should look at? Winter said, stretched you out. I just realised, look, mate, it's 2 a.m. and I've just come out with stretch me out. Probably not the best of use of words, but there we go. There's still 2 pre-season games to go, by the way, says Abdul. Thanks for that breaking news, mate. Do you want to add any context to that, or are we just going to state the obvious? Bluntbridge. Hi, Mark. Thank you very much to Owen Grant. Anyway, Owen's waiting for his wife to give birth. I think he's literally waiting for her to give birth. So good luck to you and your wife. I'd say the roles are pretty much equal. We're all equal now, diversity and equality. So none of this moaning about childbirth. We've both played our part, and I think it's a 50-50 contribution. And let's be honest, is it any worse than a bad bout of constipation? I would argue not. United needs an engine, midfielder, and a striker, steering wheel, and a new petrol tank because it's leaking. Anana. I like this, Joseph. I like this at all. Tango, thank you very much. He says, how are you this morning? I'm feeling good. So it's we're coming up for the game kicks off in 22 minutes. We're waiting for the players to walk out onto the pitch. Obviously, it's 10 past 2 in the morning. I actually feel. I mean, I don't know how many people know who I am. If you are new on Twitch, give us a follow, and you can subscribe on there if you want to. Use your Amazon; it's free. And if you're on YouTube, you might know me a little bit more. But I do Super Bowl watch-alongs in February. I love doing them, and that's basically 11 o'clock at night until about 4. So. Yeah, I think it's not going to help you now, but I think when you're staying up late at night, some people are night owls. To who? But I think that my strategy of getting into bed at about 10 and getting up at 1 and just getting a few hours in, a little bit of a nap, like Jack says, has helped me. I'd have been absolutely flagging if I'd left it there. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think you can just click and subscribe. But you used to be. I've got to get used to Twitch again. But you used to do iPrime or something like that. Basically, if you're on Amazon Prime, you can get a free subscription on Twitch and be a subscriber. I think that's how it works. I need to get back used to it anyway. But good to be back on there. And thanks everyone who's given us a follow. Manchester United against Bournemouth. We're about 20 minutes away. Interesting team, as you can see on the screen. Concerns for me are the midfield of Bruno and Casemiro. I don't like it. I don't really understand why we can't play Agate and Mainu, because Bruno's playing again. He played at the weekend. But look, this is part of the conversation, isn't it? Some of us thought we should have cashed in on Bruno. This is a prime example of why some people feel we should have done, because he will play every minute of every game, even if it's pre-season. And if he's going to play every minute of every game, he's either going to play in one of the number 10 positions or one of the midfield positions. Who would your preferred striker option, says Harry? At this late stage in the window, I'm not really going to start screaming and shouting, I want Watkins or Cesco. As I said, to be this late in the window and have an option to get one of those two strikers, I think we're slightly fortuitous when you consider that Gyökeres, Delap, Ekitike, Osimhen have all gone. To still have two decent striker options, we're a bit lucky. But we're way too late, mate. Like, we can all get excited about Cesco and the Ornstein drop, and that's great. But in a way, we're being mugged off, because as much as Cesco's exciting and as much as the Ornstein drop is exciting, it's 2 weeks from the start of the season. Really, we should be saying, what's going on? Got a hype train level 1. I don't know what that is. What's a hype train? Okay. Well, there we go. We've got a hype train going on. But yeah, I think going back to what I was saying there, we mustn't forget, or I don't think we should forget, that as much as it's exciting to be going after Cesco or Watkins, but it's Cesco, this should have happened weeks ago. He should be here now, pre-season, ready to go. And I think that's what some people are missing in the chat when we're talking about constructive criticism. We should be ready to go. Demon and Sid, thank you very much for subscribing. XX Gems as well. Ben Webb as well. Absolute legends. Really appreciate that. Mark, will you be doing more streams? Yeah, we're back on, well, Everton is 10 p.m. on Sunday. And then the season starts, yeah. Have Liverpool signed too many big name players, says Alex Carroll. Mate, I'd rather be Liverpool than Man United in relation to their transfer window. I can't argue with that. Thanks for all the entertainment, says Mackie. Thank you, Mackie. Are you on Red Bull, says Mrs. Stone? No, I actually feel good. The nap has sorted me out. Feel all right. I've got a strategy. So I've had about 3 hours. I need to get about 7. 3 hours. This will all be done by 5 a.m. Straight into bed. Another 3 hours. Get up. Morning show. See how I'm feeling around midday. Maybe have another couple of hours. 3 plus 3 is 6. Plus 2 is 8. Get in. Man City have signed 6 players. Chelsea 6. Arsenal 6. Liverpool 7. And all have sold plenty. We've signed 2 and sold none. So super yacht. Yes. And yeah, but you know, the antidote to that will be what have Villa done? What have Villa done? And I would say, since when have Villa and Newcastle and Spurs been our rival? It actually is meant to be Arsenal and Liverpool. That's the torch that we should be, you know, following really. And we certainly haven't so far. Why are you doing that? There we go. Lovely. Please do subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. If you're on YouTube, by the way, I don't know whether we hit 130,000. We're 100 away. Sorry, 131,000. We're 100 away. So please do subscribe, get involved, share the video, whatever you're doing. Big up everyone who's watching on Twitch as well. If Cesco was to join, says Evan, would you involve Rasmus in the deal or give him another season potentially as a backup? I think this is a good question. I want to get some comments on this. We've hit level 2 on the hype train. Madness. There's a madness going on the hype train. I think that if it was down to me, I'd keep Rasmus. You know, you look at the number 10 positions. You've got not Agate. You've got Cunha, and you've got Mbeumo, and you've got Ahmad, and you've got Bruno. They can all play at number 10, but you've also got Mount, and you've got Xerxes. So you've got 6 options at number 10. It's too many for a team that's not in Europe, and is only going to be playing 1 game a week. So we're well stacked in the number 10 position. We're well stacked at centre-back. You've got Luke Shaw, you've got Maguire, you've got Mazraoui, you've got De Ligt, you've got Yoro, you've got Heaven, you've got Martinez to come back. So you've got 7 centre-backs for 3 positions. Up front, if we sell Rasmus and we bring Cesco in, you've got Cesco, a 17-year-old Obi, and Xerxes, who's not a striker, in the most important position if you want to score goals. So I would like to keep Rasmus and Cesco and Obi. I would like to keep all 3 because there are certain areas of the pitch where we are stacked. So why not be stacked? But I agree with Football 63921 who says it's World Cup year and he shouldn't want to be a backup. I mean, I've not spoken to Rasmus for quite a while, but my last interaction would have been, I don't think he wanted to leave, but obviously, if Cesco comes in and he might want to play first team football, and you've got teams like Leipzig who want him to play, then that can be a big difference, can't it? T3 Rory, thank you very much for subscribing with Prime. Appreciate that. I don't know if there's a chat command for that, but NYK Matthew has as well. Absolute legends. Thank you very much. Where would you rank Elise in wingers, says Vex? I never have ranked Elise as wingers, to be honest with you. I'll tell you what you could do for me. I'm sure... Let me just Google the name. Where is Sinistera? And where is Clivert for Bournemouth? Have they sold them? Because they're not there. They're not there for them today. They must be injured. I remember watching back during Mourinho's time, you saying we can't allow standards to slip. Sad to see now we just chase that standard, says Cody. I know. Well, I think the great example of United slipping standards are that when Ten Hag finished 8th, we got absolutely rattled by rivals, and there was a meltdown in the fan base that even though he'd won the FA Cup, he must be sacked for finishing 8th. We just won the FA Cup and we finished 8th, and it was embarrassing, and he must be sacked. A year later, here we are. We've just lost to Spurs in a final and finished 15th, and people are still optimistic about what's going to happen when we've not sold one player and only bought two. Let's have a quick look here. Evening, Mark. At the game tonight in Chicago, but feel like part of the problem. Club is too big and commercial to empty stadiums and fight the Glazers, says Jay Cred. Well, mate, look at how many people are at this game. I've got the TV on. It's absolutely packed with Manchester United fans. They're queuing up for Bienda's signature. Whatever criticism you want to have about Manchester United, there is a monster, an absolute commercial monster. We will never empty stadiums, you're right. We will never empty stadiums. Because, 200 people are screaming and shouting at Bienda to sign his shirt. Could we, and that's nothing against Bienda, by the way, but, he ain't bloody Ollie Murs. Could we have been Cesco's second choice to Arsenal, says Logical Effect? 100%. It makes me laugh that people didn't want Gyökeres because we were second choice. And yet, we're obviously second choice for Cesco. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. Get me good players. Lady Sam said... Here we go. Wingstop. My daughter was at Wingstop the other day and she said it's the best chicken you can buy. I said, I do like KFC. Where do you think is the best place to get your chicken? Now, look, we have got Americans watching. It is 2:20 a.m., so it's right up your street, East Coast or West Coast. In fact, you might be eating chicken. What are your thoughts on the best place to get chicken? Evening, Mark, at the game tonight. That was from JC. Way too early for this bullshit. Love you, though, Mark, says N. Thank you very much. Xerxes dynamic, but is bound for a certain exit, says Matthew. Are United using Cesco as a scare tactic to get Watkins, says James? Potentially, you could say we want Cesco and then Villa go, all right, we'll drop the price. But David Ornstein will have been used, if that's the case. And I don't think you'll appreciate that because it makes him look stupid. So I don't think it's true. If United go and get Watkins tomorrow for 50 million because we played the game, then Ornstein would have been used. And I don't think that would be... I don't think they would do that. Haircut looks nice today, says Navel. It's probably 3 hours of sleep and then getting up and just making it wet. Although you can have good hair days as a man. That's not sexist. I remember watching back during Mourinho's time. We've done that from Cody, thank you. Can we get a big up for Mark for staying up at 2:30? Thank you, Mark, and all the mods who give us great content. Big up to everybody who's tuning in, Mrs. Stone. I mean, it's a pleasure. So many of you do this every week. In the UK, the latest kickoff time we'll get is 8 o'clock. The earliest we'll get is 2:30 midday. So many of you get up at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning to watch what has been a shit United side for years. You're the real heroes. It's nice just to be able to do it a couple of times a year on the pre-season and, sample what it's like. How many games can Amrim lose this season before he is sacked? Could he be gone by Christmas? He cannot afford to lose 3 games in a row, says Rogan. Thank you very much. I've just realised something. I might have the actual Bournemouth team. Let me have a look. No. Okay. That's worrying. We haven't got the Bournemouth team, have we? Let me have a quick look here. I don't know why that's not doing that. Let me have a look. Oh no, it is working. Oh, it's working. Right, that's the Bournemouth team on the screen for you there. I'm just about to get the scorecard. Well, the scorecard's already up. I had to do it with manual the other day. And I shouldn't have to. Stats should be there as well. They'll update as the game's going on. We didn't have these for the West Ham game, so all the stats will be coming up on the screen for you as well. Make sure you subscribe and give us a follow. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Let me go big on that for a moment. There we are. Lovely stuff. I'm on holiday in Japan, says Damien. So the timing worked out well. It's 10:22 in the morning. Perfect for the game. Ten Hag signings were the worst since Moyes, mate, says Buzz. Yeah, let us know where you're watching from, actually. I do get very nosy. So let us know where you're watching from. Well, it's 2:24 a.m. The players are about to come out. Lovely stuff. Just seen a kid in the stadium wearing a Liverpool shirt. The game's gone, says Dead Gunner. Lee, thanks for your super chat. Malta, 3:20 a.m. I love Bruno like you, but I have to agree with Ricky. Versus West Ham, apart from the goals, misplaced, even easy passes, says Brian. Nigel Spiegel, welcome to the members club. Do you think Ruben is trying to make a point and see what the old guard can do? 4 or 5 of these players are on thin ice. Let's see if they rise or not, says Matt. I actually think we'll win tonight, by the way. I don't think that's the point. I think we will win, but yeah. I'm here at Soldier Field watching United, but still have my headphones on to listen to you, says Ivan. Spread the word. Tell everyone around you to subscribe to the United Stand. You are our soldiers. Spread the message. Vardy, backup striker. No, Rob, you're talking arse. I'm black. J. Law Lloyd says, I'm black from Chicago. I know chicken. It's Wingstop. J. Law said that. I don't think I've ever had Wingstop, to be honest with you. Popeye's best chicken, says Ahmad. I will be optimistic when the Glazers leave the club, says Xander. Some of your expectations of this club really surprised me. Did you really expect more, or was it just hope they would have done more by now, says Trishan. Yeah, I think it is always going to be hope. Dare to Zoltan, thank you very much for subscribing with Prime on Twitch. Appreciate that. How are you watching it, Mark? I'm watching it on Sky because it's a Sky series. Yeah, I think I'm actually gonna sit down because I have been stood up for an hour. And I wanted to start standing up because it keeps me awake more, and I will stand up again, but I'm still really recovering from this intercostal muscle injury. Oh my God, if we get any time to talk about that, you never want this injury, I'm telling you. Actually, I wish I'd stood up now. I feel sitting down has just like made me feel really tired. Mark on Twitch brings me back to the Thunderdome, Proctor, St Just and Kent days. Sad our 30-year-old captain needs every minute to develop into the role, says Billy. Yeah, great point, Billy, actually. I think you make a really good point there. If you are on Twitch, by the way, we're only 200 followers away from 285,000, so please do give us a follow. Appreciate that. Teams going around the screen there. Lovely stuff. Players in the tunnel. All these supposedly positive fans will be hammering him out in November when he struggles. I agree, Ali. I think that, you know what? I think you make a great point there. I think the people that are not happy, the people who are moaning, are probably all Amrim in. Because the reason we're moaning is because we're concerned of how it leaves Amrim exposed, because he's basically using the same players from last year. So it's actually, I've always said this, people who have a go at people for moaning don't actually realise that moaners are probably the people who care. Moaners are the people who say we shouldn't be knocking Old Trafford down. It's it's our legacy. Moaners are the people who are saying, why are we picking a team like this? Moaners are the people who are going, where's the goalkeeper? Where's the striker? Where's the midfielder? Because the people who sit there and go, oh, I trust the manager, I trust the owners, well, they probably don't care then, do they? When are they going to learn? Are you tired, lad? Says TK, first time chat. I'm all right, mate. Actually, I'm all right because I've got you lot with me. I don't know how. And a great point here from Dare to Zoltan. He says, people that moan are people that don't understand the change in the game with money now taking more. I think it's massive, yeah. I think it's absolutely massive. What are your thoughts on Xhaka to Sunderland, says Ollie, who's a Sunderland fan. Well, very, very quickly, this is the United game, but I've got a funny feeling Sunderland might stay up. They're actually one of the most exciting promoted teams I've seen in a long time in relation to their approach to the transfer window. Could we have been Cesco's second choice? Welcome to the Members Club, Lady Sam. Evening, Mark, at the game tonight. Done that from JC as well. Way too early for this. I've done that one from N. Thank you for all your super chats. Really appreciate that. You can do that through the $ if you're on YouTube. Please do subscribe. And thank you for all the followers on Twitch and anybody who's become a subscriber. Apparently there is a chat command you can do that for. I don't know what it is. But if you've got Amazon Prime, you can subscribe on Twitch for free. Because they're owned by the same company. So if you've got Amazon Prime, you can become a subscriber for free. That's the team lineup. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I wonder who that was next to Ahmad then. I was like, have we signed someone in the last 5 minutes? He's not. He's not. He must be there. Where is Cunha? So Cunha's got fatigue, basically. That's what we've been told. Cunha has got fatigue, so Cunha can't play. I would say he's got a knock. I would say a knock is a fairer assessment because I just can't imagine. I don't even know how you would even diagnose fatigue. It's not like the fitness people are going to come along and go, oh, you look tired. So I would say he's probably got a knock. You're just not going to go into the medical team and go, I feel tired. So it's either illness or a knock, I would say. Yeah. Apparently Stream Elements isn't working, isn't active, so no comments are working, commands are working. Sorry about that, Matthew. We'll have to have a look at that, won't we? I'll write that down. You can just click the subscribe button and do it. I've seen a lot... What's this? I've seen a lot of people putting Ahmad as their right wing back, says Evan. Right midfield choice in their favourite starting 11. Do you think he could fit that role or stick to his current position? I think Ahmad... I don't know why you buy Mbeumo and Cunha if you're going to play Ahmad as a right wing back. Really. So surely he's going to be a right wing back, but then today he's not a right wing back. So yeah. I mean, this is a weird United team today. Looking, you know I'm not a big fan of Bruno in the midfield or Casemiro in the midfield. Mason Mount as 10. Luke Shaw left centre back. Rasmus up front, he might be leaving. Harry Maguire, obviously. Delow at right back. There's a lot in there that you'd sort of look at and go, that's interesting. But Bournemouth looking energetic at the start here. But good play. Good play by Dorgu there. Very progressive. I like that. Really aggressive as well. United have got the ball back. Bruno. Ahmad. Nice little bit of movement from Man United here. Moving the ball. Yoro brings it forward. Puts a cross in. Cleared away. Got to see that. Zippy Georgian Bongle. No, we've got to see Zippy passing. And tempo. It is the same players from last year, but they've got to start showing some progression, I think. I think we would all expect that. Right, Man United got a free kick here. Chance to whip a cross in. iPlay says, someone gift 100 subs. So Bruno's on the free kick. Yeah, I'm going to be analysing the midfield in this first half a lot. How does it work? Bruno goes wide here to Ahmad. Into the box. Lays it off. Delow. Don't know why he didn't cross it first time, but he does win a corner. Yeah, stats are working as well. 95% possession in the Summer Premier League Series. You'll never sing that. You'll never sing that. 95% possession against Bournemouth in the Summer Series in the US Tour. You'll never sing that. Lee, thanks for your super chat. Hi, Mark. How was your day today? Hope you know you're appreciated. God bless. What a lovely message from Mini Dan. You don't always get nice messages. You don't always get nice messages. Yeah, good day. Thank you, Mini Dan. Probably going to feel quite tired tomorrow, but yeah, a good day. Jason, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. Shout out from Sydney, Australia, saying that I love your content, says Joe. Well, you're all loved and you're all valid. Glories says it's very windy here. Look at the corner flag. Right. Look at the corner flag. If we can see a corner flag. Yeah, that one in the top left. That is moving. That's moving quicker than our centre-backs. It's funny weather in Chicago today. It was meant to be hot. But it's also rained and been windy as well. Julian GC is watching from Malta. Sorry, I'll ask again. Get in the chat. Where are you watching from? I reckon we're going to have a lot of people watching from the country, not the city. Just tell me the country where you're watching from. I'll have a quick snapshot of that in the chats. Is Chicago the windy city? I think it is. Bruno's just had a shot. Saved by the goalkeeper. Daniel says, are you worried about the Americanization of the Premier League and its impact on ticket prices, games abroad, and the erosion of clubs as community assets, says Daniel. No, I think that the United States is one of the biggest sports markets in the world. I think that soccer or football has been a confusing, slow uptake in that country. I was in New York last month and there's so many people playing football. The World Cup's going to be there. I remember the World Cup in '94. It was a brilliant World Cup. And I think it's going to be huge for the game. I don't think you can resist new markets because it might change the landscape of sport. Look at what the NFL are doing with the in Europe. So you've also got, it's not just the United States. What about Canada? That's another market. What about Mexico and places like that? And you know, I thought Brazil in the World Cup, Club World Cup, were one of the big. Their teams were one of the big positives. So I think awareness and growth of football is a good thing. I'm absolutely convinced that a Champions League game will be played in the United States before 2030. Let's see. Jamie's watching from Wrexham. Navilo says, how much money do we get for winning the Summer Series? Good question. Powerback says, I just want to say I appreciate all your hard work. I hope you don't retire anytime soon, as I just discovered this, and that's football. Yeah, don't forget that's football. Bournemouth are on the attack. That's football's doing so well. If you do, this is obviously all about United, but that's football's like a general channel. We're doing a watch along on That's Football tomorrow, actually, for Spurs against Arsenal. Terry's going to do it. No, I didn't say growing football in Brazil, London. I said the Brazilian teams in the Club World Cup was a real nice thing to see because it grew awareness of how good the Brazilian league is. I don't think people appreciate the Brazilian league, even though we've all been, you know, taking its talent from there for about 40 years. Longer. The sweaters the bench players are wearing, mint, says Jeed. Yeah, that's his highlight so far. Man United back in Europe on top 4, says John Lee. He's pissed. Just wanted to say, appreciate all your hard work. Hope you don't, yeah, thank you from Powerback. I'm watching from Kansas City, says Lucas. Stones is watching from Sydney. Adrian says, it's 9 a.m. here in Hong Kong. Bournemouth was my second favourite team to watch last season. Tavernier is underrated. Well, the thing about Bournemouth is that it'd be very interesting to see the stats carousel as it rolls around. Because Bournemouth, I mean, look, they've lost Kirkes, they've lost Hulson. I think Zabiniani's going to go as well. They haven't really bought anybody, have they? But they do play with a lot of energy, Bournemouth. Here's Mason Mount. Goes wide to Dorgu. Dorgu's had a good start again. Goal! Rasmus! 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 Made in Denmark. Dorgu to Rasmus. That's a lovely goal. 1-0 to United. It's made me... Rasmus, lovely goal. Lovely goal. I was just about to say, Dorgu started off really well. Puts a lovely early cross in. Rasmus just glances it into... That's a good goal. Actually a good goal. That's what happens when you put an early cross in. Right-footed from Dorgu as well. Dorgu's had a really good start. I was literally just about to tweet that Dorgu's had a lively start, and he definitely have. Good header by Rasmus. One 1-0. Well, it's only a positive, isn't it? 1, he might stay. 2, he might enhance his chances of going. Is Mbeumo in the US? Yes, Eureka. I think he'll play on Sunday against Everton. Adrian LP, thank you very much for your super chat. Goldbridge, talk about the Oasis concert. I didn't go, Brandon. I've not been to one. I've been to watch Oasis before, but I haven't watched any of the new ones. Lee, thanks for your super chat. Thank you very much to Minnie Dan as well. Chicago is called the Windy City because politicians talk hot air to the people, says J. Law Lloyd. And AJ says, I'm usually awake at 3 a.m. listening to the United Stand. This 6:30 is nice, says AJ. Have you been to Bangor in Wales, says John. I could tell a joke, but no. So 10 minutes gone here. United leading 1-0. Casemiro's just put a bad tackle in, by the way. Bournemouth manager's sort of like, why has that not been a booking? But it is pre-season. You can get away with that. We're 90 followers away from 285,000 if you're watching on Twitch. So do please give us a follow. Just click and follow. Welcome. Boy says, you'd have me moaning so loud if you were here. Don't even know what that means. Break out the Champers. We're back, says Mr. Champers. It was always a matter of time before we got a username. Champers. Mr. Champers. Anyway, what I wanted to say is, much the same as the West Ham game, really good intensity to this game. I've watched a lot of pre-seasons, and I've got to say, whatever we think about United this season, I do like the teams that we're playing in pre-season. It's always good. I mean, look, it's glamorous when you play Real Madrid in the Rose Bowl in front of 100,000. But the thing about playing teams from other countries is that their seasons start at different times. So they might be a week behind or 2 weeks behind your fitness levels. That can make a big difference. In preparation for pre-season, and I don't think we're that prepared when you look at the team we're picking and the players we haven't brought in. But I do think it's a good idea to play Premier League opposition. And I think we've seen that against West Ham and we're seeing it against Bournemouth now. There is a high intensity to these games. Like, they're playing at a high speed, which hopefully will stand us in good stead. Everybody seems to be doing it, though, don't they, now? We seem to get less and less friendlies. Right, bit of a breakaway here. Bruno gets the ball into Ahmad. Good defending there by Bournemouth, and he'll keep it in. Are we looking sharp today? I'm at work, says John. Casemiro, bad ball. Billing won league with McTominay last season, says Robert McCormack. Good to see it. Did he? I've got to double check that, Robert. Hope you're doing well. Philip Billing. Yeah, he was at Napoli last year. There we go. Good to see you actually Good to see us actually whipping across to our striker for once. Also, cheers from Colorado, says Clay. Thank you, Clay. Well, the thing I liked about that Dorgu cross was that it was quick. I think one of the big problems with Manchester United is the intensity of how quickly we move the ball. I don't think we move the ball quick enough at times. And that unsettles defences. Derek says, do you think the Premier League is hard to predict this season? I think the top four is easy to predict. Who's going to win it's not so easy. I think 5th place is hard to predict. I think from 10th to 5th, it's very hard to predict. And maybe we might get a relegation battle. Like I said, Sunderland have done some good business. Julian says, my dad loves your content. It was his birthday 3 days ago. Could you tell him happy 42nd birthday? His name is Nick. Happy birthday to Nick. So 1-0 to United. We've had 15 minutes. Lovely cross into the box by Dorgu, and Rasmus gets his head on it. Will says, I won't judge too soon, but I'm seeing some promising football. It's fair to say that Amrin's first pre-season is having a positive effect. Oh my God. Yeah, okay. Everything's great. Everything is awesome. Yeah, we've played 15 minutes against Bournemouth, and we're back. That's a lovely ball in behind. Luke Shaw with a good tackle. He's back as well. Everything's back. Shawberto Carlos is back. Man United are back. If Sunderland stay up, who's going down instead, Mark, says Ben? I would say Brentford, maybe. I was at the New Jersey game and I kept a close eye on Ruben. I noticed every time there was a long ball or diagonal, he threw his hands up and yelled. It's clearly not a tactical thing, and he's also very handsome, says Luca. Storytime says, I'm in America and I'm going to bed. Okay. Breaking news there. Someone in America is going to bed. I might tweet it. But you know what? With United again, it's the same. When I think United always have to score first. There's Dorgu again. I think when things are going well, we're always quite good. What's your relegation teams for 25-26? I'm still going to say 3 up, 3 down. I'm not going to change that, I don't think. Who's going to be our pre-season Perlo, says William. I don't think we're going to get a pre-season Perlo, are we? Because we're not really giving anybody... I mean, a pre-season Perlo is someone who plays well in pre-season and actually isn't that good. So Homie says it's nearly 3 a.m. here and I'm wide awake. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm wide awake, but I'm a lot less tired than I thought I would be. I do like the tempo though. Murnell says, I'm watching from Philadelphia. Great content. As much as I want to be positive, standards are already down if we're aiming for 5th. I disagree. I think 5th place for Man United next season would be the equivalent of winning the FA Cup. It would be a real positive for us. Foul on Ahmad there. From where we're coming from, you know. Didn't even realise Luton got relegated from the Prem, then relegated to League One back-to-back, says Zeno. Yeah. Surprising as well, because they did quite well. They were the better of the teams that got relegated. It's a strange ball by Bruno. Goes out for a goal kick. Adster says, Casemiro's been awful in this game. I love the continued boldness of the glasses straps. Do they ever fly off when you get worked up? Mine do, says Rylan. I need to get the glasses fixed. That's why they've got straps on at the moment. Will Mount continue to start the big games, says Robert McCormack. Robert, I've figured out rage bait. I don't react to it. We're 30 followers away from 285,000 on Twitch, by the way. So thanks everyone who's tuning in. Please give us a follow. Good header by Maguire. I'll tell you what I will say, and I said this at the weekend. The thing about United's system is it's hard to score against. It's not a particularly attacking system, is it? And when you've got a goal, it can become a back five. I mean, I'm looking at this system and it's very different. Lovely ball in behind there from Bournemouth. Good defending by Delow. They're still in the box though. That's a strange cross, goal kick. I paid for Man Utd TV to watch pre-season and they don't have the game on. Pratt says Shan. I would have done the same, Shan. I would have done the same. The Leeds game was on MUTV and the Fiorentina game is on MUTV, and they normally are on MUTV, but this is a Sky Summer Series. That's why the 3 games are on there. Yeah, Casemiro's getting a few pelters here in the chat. Wixby says, my neighbour has complained because I screamed and shouted too much for the United goal. I'm never going to take the piss out of people for celebrating pre-season goals, because I remember Pereira scoring a free kick against Liverpool a few years ago. And I went mad about it, even though it was pre-season. So, nothing wrong with that. Apparently the games are on MUTV. I think they are on MUTV, you know. Let me have a double check. MUTV. Yeah, it is on MUTV, but it's about 30 seconds behind. And it's in 720p. How the fuck are they putting it out in 720p in 2025? Beth just tweeted, Luke Shaw is dragging me back in. What a tackle. It's only because he gave you an interview. Passing looks way more crisp. Still a way to go, says Jide. Difficult to watch Casemiro play, says 23 official. Ayadeji, thank you very much for your becoming a member. Appreciate it. It's raining now. It's raining now. Very changeable weather maybe in the States. Rasmus scoring is like a new signing, says Alternative Ego. Dorgu being busy again. Oh, good interception there. Bruno, I thought was going to be in, but Bournemouth come away from it. Where's the midfield? Mount fills in for Bruno. That's good. That's a key thing to keep an eye on. The swapping. Between Mount and Bruno. We saw that the other day as well. Oh, Ahmad was nearly in there. Jacob says it looks like we're in London, aren't we? You've got to be careful in a game like this, though. Very wet and slippy out there. I don't want to pick up any more injuries. Missed my super chat. Copy of you. Read previous ones, please, says Rads. Sorry about that. Looks like we're in London. Why do you reckon he's picked a 3-4-2-1? Because that's what he's done his whole career, Eurek. How do you get over a 15-month relationship ending? Says LI999. What's the relevance of 15 months? That's my first observation. Cheers, Mark. I'm watching from Denver. Bournemouth look decimated compared to last year. Can't wait to see Mbermo and Cesco play. Shaw looking good as well, says Alberto. Lee says, you saved me in COVID. Forever grateful. West Ham fan. Thank you, Lee. And Sour S says, can you explain how Delap with Goal! I've missed it. I tell you, Dorgu has scored. Dorgu's on fire here. Your defence is terrified. He's got a goal and an assist. And he looked very good against West Ham. He's looked very, very good again here. Mount played a quick free kick. Dorgu sprints through, bullies his defender, and finishes. Wow, it's not a great finish. It's crap keeping, to be fair. But wet weather helps. 2-0 to Manchester United. Yeah, he sort of kicks it into the ground. Keeper's made a right mistake. But it's quick thinking by Mount. And Dorgu has had a very, very good start to this game. And he's got a goal and an assist. 2-0. Cruising here. Sauer says, can you explain how Delap with 12 Premier League goals with an Ipswich side would have been a bad signing, but 70 million for Cesco, 13 Bundesliga goals is great? Need to go and watch some more football, mate, if you think Delap's better than Cesco. Why did Arsenal want Cesco and not Delap? Explain that. Can you explain that one to me then? Can you explain that one to me? Can you explain that one to me? Why didn't Arsenal go for Delap, but they wanted Cesco? We need a good goalkeeper, or Inanna is just going to blow this style of play, says Swap. Thank you very much, pal. How's your big toenail, says Julian. It's fine. It could have been a lot worse. CTL says, Dorgu's changing my mind. I was very sceptical of his technical ability, but he's been a lot better. You know what? I think it's too early. I like Dorgu, but I think people got on to him too early, really. I remember Everett and Vidic coming in January and not doing particularly well. It takes time to adapt. McKelvey says, I think that goalkeeper for Bournemouth has got a poster of Onana on his wall. And Rad says, have you thought of doing stand-up, Mark? You have the creative mind for it and have naturally funny bones. I think you would be ace at it. I did about half an hour of it in Dublin on the 10-year show. I quite enjoyed it, but time. Lucas says, I've just seen a video about your dog passing. Fuck Catherine. I don't know. I mean, I've had lots of dogs, so. 7-month cancer-free, and I hope a top 10 finishes in the Stars next year. That's great news, Omar. Are you doing well? Murray says, how many subs on Twitch to get your hair like Ahmad's? 1,000. I want you... Okay. Let's get rid of you. There we go. Yeah, MUTV shows it on 720p. I don't know why. Probably saving money, isn't it? Bruno's losing the ball a bit, says Solar. Well, we're winning 2-0. Let's have a quick look at the stats here, because they've done nothing. So we've had 64% possession, 3 shots, 3 on target. They've had 36% possession, no shots at all. So you can't moan about that. It's a bit different to the West Ham game. Oh, shut up! Oh, he's offside. He's offside. Phew. Don't want any of that again. Don't want to get caught out by stuff like that. Yeah, he definitely was offside. Bean says, this is Man United's year. We're going to win the league. Jack says Luke Shaw's down again. He's definitely not. He definitely is. Trust me, if Luke Shaw is injured... No, he's on. He's back on. He's got, you know, even if he's injured, he's just got to play on at this point, hasn't he? He can't be going off now. Lots of work still to do, says Zaki. Family, welcome to the members club. Thank you for being part of the family. Do you have any plans to tour again, says Stuart? Yeah. Julian says, Shaw's down more than my internet in a storm. I remember that used to happen to me a bit. Here we go. Dorgu's in again. Oh, he's offside there. How are we playing? Look, Bournemouth haven't had a shot. They've had hardly any possession. Again, I think that this is an indicator of what could be for Manchester United next season, because the top sort of 10 clubs in the Premier League last season were really good. It was really competitive. But I don't think Bournemouth look anywhere near the team they did last year. And obviously they're selling players all over the place and they're not buying players. So Good chance there, though. I need to shut up. But yeah, I think that Evan Nilsson here, it's a good cross. Luke Shaw in all sorts of trouble there. So I think, yeah, as I say, I think 5th place is up for grabs. Mason Mount's been quiet against us. TK got the assist on the Dorgu goal. That was an intelligent pass. Harley, I've sorted that for you. I do listen to the chats. I read the chat. Thanks for all the new follows on Twitch. 2,500 watching on there. Legends. Good shot there from Bournemouth. They're starting to come back into this game a little bit. I do wonder if Luke Shaw's actually injured. My Whoop has detected my sleep. 6% recovery, the lowest I've ever had. Yeah, you can't count that. There'll be more. Cross comes in from Bournemouth, headed away by Maguire. Cesco, here we go. We're not going to get a Cesco, here we go at 3 a.m. 3 a.m. now? Where's the night gone? How many points did we lose last season because of Onana, says Eddie. Someone needs to analyse that. This could be a good chance for Bournemouth. I think he's overhit that a little bit. And they'll let that go for a throw-in. Which high-profile signing will flop this season, says William. Oh, that's a good question. High-profile flop would have to be somebody like a Wirtz, an Ekatike, a Gyökeres, a Zubamendi, a Gittins. You know, you've got to be sub over £50 million. I don't think Ekatike will flop. He might just have an adjustment season. That's not flopping. I don't think you really do flop in year one. I feel like Ekatike at Liverpool is going to be a developmental player who probably won't start that often if they get Isak. So I wouldn't say he will flop. Hopefully Man City players. Cherky would be nice. Although I do think he'll do quite well. Luke Shaw's moving around well. Looks okay. Your skybox is about to go into standby. It's not. It's going to stand up. Real Revolver says, "Hi Mark, I've been following Cesco ever since he was in the Austrian league. I support Liverpool, so him moving to United is giving me mixed emotions. So happy he's in the Prem, but for United, Thanks, Harley. Doing a great job. So we've had 36 minutes. Look, United are worthy 2-0. Good goal. The Rasmus goal. Lovely cross by Dorgu. Intensity's good. I just think Bournemouth look a little bit... This is what I said this about this. I said this, though. I said Bournemouth, Everton, West Ham, Fiorentina are really good pre-season games for us. They might not be glamorous, but they'll give us a certain level of intensity whilst also being very winnable because we've got a better squad. So we should be able to build some positive momentum. Casemiro's bloody miles off, isn't he? Bournemouth probing down the left here. Plenty of numbers back. Oh, what a cross. Still look a bit suspect to crosses, don't we? He should have scored there. To be fair, Bournemouth in the last few minutes have had a couple of chances. Matt wants to know where he can watch it live. Well, it's on Sky and it's on MUTV, but I don't know whether anyone has any other ways. What's the worst? Who's the worst referee you've seen, says Daniel? I don't spend time memorising referees' performances. They're mostly all shit. Daily Hibbert says, for Cesco to be available for the Arsenal game, when would the deal need to be done by? Oh! I mean, technically, he could sign the day before. 2 Bournemouth players have just gone down at the same time. One of them looks quite badly hurt. He's saying he got stamped. Luke Shaw. Didn't really see anything there. Cesco could sign the day before for Manchester United and still be available for Arsenal, but he wouldn't be used, would he? Because he wouldn't have had a pre-season or played with his team. Five minutes to go to half time. Connor says, 3-hour drive in the lorry with a watch along in the background. What a time to be alive. P.S. Get Shaw out the club. Nice switch of the play. Won't keep that in. Thank you very much. Hi, Mark. Would you rather Cesco or Watkins, says Salma? Well, we're going for Cesco, aren't we now? The recipe said, set the oven to 180 degrees. I now can't open the oven because it's facing the wall, says Rads. Okay. Mark, will you be live on Twitch for every match this season? Loving the Twitch lives this pre-season, says Connor872. We're definitely back for the Everton game on Sunday, yeah. Make sure you give us a follow. How's Kev from the United Stand, says Kieran? Good. Him and Ricky, Tull, all doing very well. They'll all be back for the new season, for the countdown to kickoffs and the fan forums. It's just difficult over the summer to do those sort of shows for transfers because it moves so fast, doesn't it? But, yeah. Here's Mount. Shit. Shot from Mount. 4 minutes to go to half time. What players have stood out? Dorgu, Ahmad. They've been my 2 standout players. Mount's done okay. Casemiro's looked off it. Bruno's done okay. Terrible ball. Bournemouth look... Thank you for confirming my handsome King Kev is back, says Mazraoui. Would you sacrifice signing a striker for Donnarumma, says Senor David. So basically you're saying, would I sign a top-class goalkeeper over a top-class striker? And I think that's letting United off the hook. But I think the goalkeeper is essential, really. Yeah. So got about 3 minutes to go to half time here. United leading 2-0. Good for it as well. Go on, Ahmad. Use the overlap. Let's hold on to that a little bit too long. Oh, Casemiro. Good tackle, Bruno. Mount, a bit weak. Looks a bit of a foul to me there, ref, but he's played it on. Elvis, thanks for your hype sticker there. Appreciate it. Maguire with that was a foul. A style of play is shining through and it's beautiful, says Blake. Confidence at the back with no one on us as protect Emperor. We've played with a much better tempo and it's been good to see us trying to play progressive passes that break the line, says McElvis. With only 2 new players, we look good, says Julio. Can you wish my friend Ryan a happy birthday, says Keith. Happy birthday to Ryan. Dorgu's okay. Adrian says, what do you think of Chelsea business and chances? Well, they'll be top 4. Yeah. Connecting play on offence looks exciting, says Andrew. Rad says, are you okay? You look a bit fed up. I'd tell you what it is, mate. It's not even the fact that it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I just never fail to be amazed by how easily pleased how short memories some of our fans have. Like we're 2-0 up against a depleted Bournemouth side in a pre-season game. We're knocking the ball around nicely and people just totally overhype it. It's a nice step forward, but it's far from perfect. It's been decent. But there'll be people watching this genuinely thinking we're going to get, we're going to have a good season off the back of it. It's still the same team that lost the Europa League final. We're fine when we score first. I've figured United out. When we score first, we're buzzing. I'm concerned still. That doesn't change anything for me. that has been quite good to watch. I thought Dorgu was man of the match. I thought the cross was good. Rasmus's header was good. Quick thinking by Mount, bit lucky by Dorgu. Defended quite well, bit susceptible to crosses, but we've defended well. We deserve to be 2-0 up. But I don't think that's going to do much against the likes of Newcastle and Villa, and certainly not the top four. I think we need a lot more. So, but we're not going to solve that today. So, in essence, it's been a good half from United, but I'm certainly not running. I was just reading some of the comments about I'm excited for next season and this, that, and the other, and that's great, but I can't pretend I'm excited for next season based on that 45 minutes, because I don't think it's actually going to be enough by a long, long way. So I hope it's the beginning of a process, but that process needs to include a goalkeeper, a midfielder, and a striker very, 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 very soon. Should I sleep or watch the second half, says Konzo. Up to you. What happened to Marcus from the old Watchalongs, says Champagne. Got no idea who you're talking about. Legitimately. Thank you for watching along with me. Legend, says Rare. Give us your thoughts on that half, by the way. Thanks everyone who's been giving us a follow. If you're on Twitch, appreciate that. And thanks everyone who's subscribed there as well. If you're on YouTube, by the way, we are only 50 subscribers away from 131,000. So please do subscribe, bottom right-hand corner there. Let us know what your thoughts are. I just want to get the stats up on the screen, because I think the compelling thing for me that I've taken from that half that I think does have an impact on next season, and I want to get your thoughts on it. So 59% possession, 41% possession for them. 4 shots to their 2. 3 shots on target to their 2. We're 2-0 up. What does that tell you? I still think we're quite a defensive side. Even in pre-season, I still think that we're going to be very much built on defence and counter. I don't think that we're a team that looks like we're playing high up the pitch. The Dorgu goal was a counter. The first goal was, progressive. But we're not conceding many chances. I noticed this against West Ham. I noticed it a little bit last season. Because you've got 3 centre-backs and your full-backs can be wing-backs, we are quite hard to break down at times, despite not necessarily having the best goalkeeper in the world. So I wouldn't be surprised if next season that's how we look to play. We're hard to score against. I thought the defence was one of the positives from last year. In a bad season, I don't know how I can say that, but yeah, it's why I mentioned the wing backs on the 8 o'clock show the other night, because how many games will Delo actually play at right wing back? Dorgu looks perfect for the role. He gets forward really, really, really well. Ahmad has had a good game. My 2 favourite players for Man United today have been Ahmad and Dorgu. I don't know what your thoughts are. Can you call my dad a prat, please, says Rambo. Dorgu shows Amrim knows good players. Buy more, says Beep. Yeah, I like Dorgu. I want to see how this current team reacts when we go behind, says Tristan. I'm hopeful we can see some improved mentality, wishful thinking. I think that's a fair point. I remember Ollie saying that years ago. Remember when he had that good run, when, Ollie's at the wheel, and he said, it's great to be winning all these games, but I don't want it to happen, but I'm intrigued when we lose a game, how we respond to it. And that's the big thing for United. I think we've always been a good team when we go in front, but we have got to learn to, deal with setbacks as well. Another positive is that Luke Shaw went down and got back up. I know this is a United stand, but given how there's only a month left of the window, would you say there's a team that's won it or still too early, says Shinobi? I think it's looking like it's going to be Liverpool or Chelsea who win the transfer window, just purely on volume of talent that they've brought in. Yeah. If you want to subscribe on Twitch, by the way, and you've got Amazon Prime, you can do it for free, because Amazon, It allows you to subscribe for free if you've got Amazon Prime, by the way. So if you want to subscribe, you can do that there. Some people were doing it in the first half. Thanks to everyone who's given us a follow there. I bet the Glazers think this is an NFL match, says Mazraoui. Guy, you were talking to when Phil Jones missed the penalty, says Champagne. Oh, yeah, I'm not interested in going down that road. United has always been known for prolific strikers. Watkins is not one of them. Look, the United stands, what I will say is the United stand's been running for a long time. It's gone through many different developments, and some people have been involved in that aren't here anymore. They were part of the journey. They're not now. United has always been known for prolific strikers. Watkins is not one of them, but the profile of Cesco is different and it's interesting, says Shiem. So if United can buy, they should go for Cesco. I'm convinced. There we go. Shiem's convinced. I don't think Ahmad is effective at 10. Even against this squad, he is in and out. Yoro, I think, owns the right centre-back now, and Bruno playing well, says AJ. Well, I think Bruno's been okay. I still don't like that midfield too, but, what I will say is I hope it works. Not necessarily that midfield too. I don't like Bruno in the midfield. It needs to work. Don Ricky, thanks for subscribing on Twitch. You're a legend, mate. Thanks very much for that. Alberto says, it's far from perfect, but these are the teams we have to beat. Last season, these teams were capable of running us all over us. Yeah, great point. Great point. Ward Dan, thanks for subscribing as well. Great points. From you there. This time last year, we did really struggle with how we performed, and there's no doubt about that. So against these types of teams, so yeah, we do need to do a little bit better, and I think that's probably part of the frustration that we have with some of our good movement from there. Just showing it here on Sky. Good movement from Rasmus away from his defender there. Proper striker movement. But yeah, I mean, look, United still need to do quite a lot of work in the transfer window. Sorry for the yawns. It is 3:25 in the morning. I'm not tired, but well, my body is, but I'm fine. But my body will yawn a little bit. Red Marker, Campos, thanks for subscribing. And thanks for your first chat. Yeah, I think when you look at United and you look at the gaps that are still very much there, we need to do better. But beyond the top four, I think there's a lot to play for in the Premier League next year. Yuri the Red, we've done that one from there. Where's Kev? You are Mane. You are Mane. The funniest man on YouTube. Also, if we get Donnarumma and Cesco, are we locked in for top 5, says Alex. Be a big bloody help. I mean, I still think we need a midfielder, but a goalkeeper and a striker would really help. Julian says, breaking Luke Shaw has got injured after stubbing his toe in the dressing room. To be honest, that can be bad, very, very painful. We're not playing through their defence enough. Shaw won't look up to play to Rasmus or Mount. Ahmad has been okay, but keeps his head down too long. Maguire has let 2 crosses go past him, says Bees. I'm happy with the first half. Dorgu looks good, says Casper. Yeah, I think Dorgu's been the standout player for me, definitely. Definitely. Ethan, thanks for subscribing with Prime. Do you think that Mbeumo can play right back, says Ethan. We don't know what we're doing with Mbeumo until we see him play, do we? I mean, hopefully on Sunday it's going to be Mbeumo. No Cunha today, of course. I'm happy we can string together simple passes, says Koika. I like how well Dorgu and Yoro are progressing the ball forward. Maguire and Casemiro are too slow, says Eduardo. And I think we have a higher intensity and better passing combinations. It's not perfect, but it's better. Huge positive for me is Yoro, says DK. And Tyler says, being a defensive side is only a problem when your goalie can't make saves. And I really believe we have a very good coach, says Fanuel. I know he's not backed by the owners as we expect them to, but with this small squad, we will succeed. It's not a small squad though, mate. It's not actually a small squad. SFG13, thank you very much for being a subscriber as well. Do you think if Rasmus leaves, says Wonder Woman, he'll flourish elsewhere like McTominay? Look, that goal from Rasmus is good. That movement from Rasmus is good. he's had a very, very difficult time at Manchester United. Maybe he will go to Leipzig and think, I can score 20 goals in the Bundesliga and I'll still only be 22. Couple of years in the Bundesliga, and then maybe I do come back to the Prem. Maybe I go La Liga or something. So I don't know what Rasmus will do. He is a Man United supporter. He loves Man United. But I think sometimes you might have to look at it and go, the writing's on the wall. And I need to maybe need to go somewhere else. So yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be quite interesting to see how that one works, honestly. What subs do you want to see in the second half? I'd like to see Mainu and Agate come on. Umar Diaz, thank you very much for subscribing. Delit's coming on as well, Mark, says Julian. Well, I wonder if Luke Shaw's going to be coming off, actually, because I think that one might be a problematic. Friendly or not, the referee is wank, says Kirst. Some fundamentals that I'm seeing, says Korshik, that I'm seeing towards a better season. Better fitness, faster in the first 10 to 15 yards, looking for the risky pass instead of playing around the periphery. Good observations, I like it. Hansen says, I've been here since the early days, here for the journey, and where United Stand takes us marks the best. Thank you, Hansen. Getting some nice messages tonight. Maybe I should do early morning streams more often. Better clientele. Although I must say the 8 o'clock show is fire. When in pre-season, it's like we're a level up compared to the opposition, but when the Premier League starts, it's like we lose the edge, says DJ. Look, the biggest assessment of Manchester United will not come from this game. It won't come from the Everton game. It won't come from the Fiorentina game. The biggest assessment of Manchester United over the last decade has been an inability to deal with setback and an inability to be consistent. Those are the two fundamentals that no amount of training is going to help you with. No amount of crisp passing is going to help you with. We need to learn to deal with going 1-0 behind and sticking to the plan. We need to deal with winning a game and then winning the next game. And Amram has experienced that. What happened the week after we beat Man City in December? Didn't we lose to Bournemouth? Got absolutely hammered, I think, didn't we, by Bournemouth at Old Trafford, or maybe it was at their place. So look, if there's one thing that always epitomises to me United's big problem with inconsistency, it's that game in the Manchester derby at the Etihad under Jose Mourinho. I remember doing the watch-along for it. Man City, all they needed to do was beat us and they'd be crowned Premier League champions then. They were going to win the league, but they would have been crowned champions on the pitch then against us at the Etihad. We're 2-0 down at half-time. The chat's going Jose out. We come out second half and we win 3-2. We're just beating the best team in the league from 2-0 down at our anyway, following week, Old Trafford, West Brom, who were going to get relegated, we lose 1-0. And that is our biggest problem. Ian says, I think we could finish at least top 10. Players coming out for second half. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. We hit 285,000 followers on Twitch, by the way. So if you are watching and you want to get involved in the chat, please do click and follow. Appreciate that. Players coming out for the second half. It's very windy here in Chicago. What happens? Will they just call it off? Hopefully they won't call it off. Evening, mate. Really strange to see you live at 9:30 my time. Have a coffee on me to keep you awake, says Sir Dave. Thank you very much, Sir Dave. Appreciate that. And Adrian says, I'd like to hear a deep take from you on Chelsea and this project 2030. And do you think they challenge this year? They're building something special, says Adrian. Well, the thing about Chelsea is that they're very, very determined to succeed, aren't they? De Ligt's coming on for Maguire. So don't really know why Maguire still can't play lots of football, but that seems to have been going on for a while. I know it's a touchy subject and a bit of a square peg in a round hole, but how about Martinez in the number 6 position? Oh, okay. Arca, you might have the best intentions, but I'm going to file that under rage bait and leave it. Evening, mate. Really strange done that from Sir Dave. There's a hype chest about to open. What's this all about? Confetti hype emoji. Don't know what that's all about there. Right, get ready for the second half. Evening, mate. Really strange done that. Like to hear deep take done that, Adrian. Mark, we're getting 7.5 million to play in the summer series, says Yo Mama. Ryan Fox says, why is everyone so obsessed with Belieber? Brighton wouldn't sell him for under 90. Defenders are cheaper alternatives. Even go for a backup, not starter, says Ryan Fox. The reason everybody's obsessed with Belieber is because Rio Ferdinand has been in a train station again on his phone saying, get this deal done. He's got absolutely no idea about how hard that deal is. And it's a fantasy deal. I think we'd all like Belieber, but it's not believable. It's not doable, is it? Right, second half's about to start. We're ready, ref? Yeah. There we go. Our left wing back situation looks solid. Leon and Dorgu, both young, both fast, both strong, says Mrs. Stone. Do you have to listen to Graham Laslow across the pond? He's absolutely the worst, and I nearly hurled seeing him commentating at half time, says Scuba Steve. I haven't seen Graham Laslow in years. I don't know whether he's a regular in the States, but I haven't seen him not over here. Kieran says, is the tiredness kicking in yet, Mark? I'm actually fine. I mean, it's a shame that we haven't got another one. There was one year we went on tour and every game was like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I think it's when we're on the East Coast, isn't it? But no, it's actually been fine. I think getting that little kip in has really helped. Been here since the early days. Thank you, Hanson. Appreciate that. Juzu on Twitch says, who do you want to start as the midfield 2 next season? Honestly, Agate and Mainu. I love Bruno, but I don't like him in the midfield. Got to be honest. I think De Ligt's such an important player. Hi, Mark from New York. Great game tonight. I hope we get Cesco after good feeling about new season, says Elvis. Thank you very much for your super chat, pal. Caleb says, I just woke up because I slept through my alarm for the match. Come on, Dorgu. What else did I miss? I tell you what, Caleb. I'll tell you a true story, right? And it's a fresh one. I set my alarm for 1 a.m. to get up, just quickly do my teeth, do my hair, everything was set up, come downstairs into the streaming room and be live at 1:15. I don't know whether this happens to anybody else, but my body clock woke me up at 10 to 1. Don't know why. So I woke up, I was like, oh God, this isn't normal. But I turned my alarm off because I was like, well, I don't want the alarm to go off and wake up Mrs. Goldbridge. It's unfair when I'm already awake. But then I thought, it's 10 to 1. So do I need to get up yet? So I turned the alarm off and I just sort of went, I lay there to get it, just to think. And then the next thing I know, I jolted. And I sort of went, fucking hell, I was falling asleep again. Now, if I'd have fell asleep then, there would have been no watch-along. Like, it's very lucky that my body jolted as I fell asleep to go like that. And I sort of went, oh. Because that alarm had been switched off. And I'd sort of, yeah, I'd have been in big trouble. Welcome to the Members Club, GG. Sakin says, whoever loses, lose or draw between you and Robbie this season puts on the rivals kit at the end of the season. I like that one, yeah. Free kick to United on the edge of the box here. Yeah, I like that one, Sachin. Good idea. Good idea. Julian says, give man of the match the jolt. Yeah, mate. I'd have been still asleep now. There's no way if you fall asleep again at 10 to 1 in the morning that you're going to wake up again in the next 15 minutes. George says, this is why it's called the Windy City. William, thank you very much for becoming a member. So, free kick, windy. It's good position, this. Mason Mount. Ooh, I thought he'd scored there. Bottom corner. Bro, we're looking more calculated in our approach rather than drunk gambler mode in the transfer market under previous hierarchy. We're looking more calculated in our approach. Riz, I actually thought you were talking about the way we're playing football. I can't believe you're bigging up our transfer activity. Calculated. The season starts in 2 weeks, mate. We haven't got a goalkeeper, we haven't got a striker, and we haven't got a midfielder. And then Mbeumo can't play because he hasn't had a bloody pre-season. I don't think that's and we haven't sold anybody. I don't think there's anything calculated or, you know, going to plan about this window. We can rescue it, but Ahmad nearly played Rasmussen. Another free kick on the edge of the box. Watched one of your best of compilation videos and had me crying with laughter, says GG. Thank you very much, mate. J. Law Lloyd says, you're a catch and a half. Ever told the story on how you met your wife? Now's not the time. Makel says, Casemiro's passing is doing my head in. Stormy80 says, what's your opinion on Amorim wanting Watkins but our director of football wanting Cesco? Well, we don't know that's the case. To be fair, we don't know that that's the case. Good opportunity for another free kick. You've got to be scoring one of these, really. It's right on the edge of the box again. It's windy. Just put it on target in the air. Bruno, take it. Stop letting bloody Mount try and glow up. He's a bench player. Bruno, you've got to take this. No. That was a waste of time getting excited about. Won't do that again. Yeah, we're not really here to talk about Bournemouth. We're here to talk about the greatest team in the world, Manchester United. I think that they look decimated, Bournemouth, don't they? They don't look... I mean, they have got a couple of players out injured as well. I mean, Sinistera and Kluivert are two of their better players, and I think they're out. I don't know. Don't know what the story is, to be fair, with their injury situation. "3-0. Ahmad, and he's very happy with that. he felt that there was a goal. He felt there was another goal coming for Manchester United here, and I mean, it's going to be a very good result for us. We can't argue with it. Ball comes into the box, bit clumsy in there, and it sort of breaks to Ahmad just to tap it away. Rasmus puts himself about a bit, drops to Ahmad just to pass it low into the corner, and in the wind and the rain, Ahmad scores for United. 3-0. Weather's absolutely horrific here. It might get called off in a minute. We don't want that. Julian says, I've seen enough of winning the league. Good play by Rasmus here on the turn. Gets tackled. I wonder if he'll start making subs at some point, because it is one of those pitches where it's so wet that slips and slides and injuries do worry me a bit. Rich says, any thoughts on Ozzy? I think you're talking about Ozzy Osbourne. I mean, look, I never really knew anything about him for his music, but I did like the TV show. That was a bad pass. Was that Bruno or Mount? George Lawler, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. Have you seen any progress in Bruno's midfield performance? Look, it's not. Look, I want to be very, very clear about this, and I think I'll talk about it in the match reaction. It's not like Bruno is absolute shit in the midfield. Like Bournemouth on the attack. It's not that he's rubbish in the midfield. He can do a role in there. But when you look at like Liverpool's midfield or Chelsea's midfield or Man City's midfield, have they got a player in there that's doing a job? And that's my thing. Bruno's not terrible. It's not like he doesn't tackle or he doesn't play a pass. I just don't think it's his position. Shadow373 says, can we start a petition to play all of our games in Chicago with this weather against Bournemouth? I'll sign it. Stormy says, I think some fans need to realise we're coming up against West Ham and Bournemouth, who have had stripped of their best players this summer. And Heya Joe says, I know it's early, but Dorgu could have a Mazraoui season, being a good constant 7 or 8. I think some people jumped on Dorgu's back way too soon. I've said that before. I just missed Bournemouth nearly scoring a goal on the back post. Gosh, it's like a monsoon and I'm from Malaysia, says Bobby. Thank you for the question, Connor. Watch the Cesco video and he looks like the real deal. I think he is by far the better option over Watkins, says Gigi. Nathan says, I love the channel and everything you do. Do you have any advice or tips for positive mental health? Keep up the good work, mate, says Nathan. I do. I think you've got to be honest with your moods. Know yourself. Speak honestly to the people that matter to you about how you're feeling. And try and focus, even if it's for 10 minutes a day, on something you really enjoy. Like, if I have a really busy day, I mean, I won't do it tonight because it'll be 5 o'clock in the morning, but if I have a really busy day, I'll make sure for the last 20 minutes of the day or half an hour, there's something I watch that I really like. Because it helps. This is a team building type of game, says Jacob. 25 million. Bournemouth paid Chelsea for that keeper. That club's ability to sell unwanted players needs studying. McElbis, I don't know why Bournemouth paid that money for Petrovic. I didn't think he looked very good at Chelsea. And I don't think you can say anything about the Ahmad goal or the Rasmus goal, but the Dorgu goal, bloody hell. You can hear the rain on the commentator's mic on MUTV, says Mr. Scally. Maybe you should go and stand inside then. If we go for Nick Pope, I'd rather keep Onana. No, I mean, I think Nick Pope, Alex, is better than Onana, but it's not really the sort of deal that we should be doing, really. Not to get away from Yoro, is he? Ooh, good play by Shaw, but Semenyu's got it. Could have got... No, play on, play on. JDP says he'd suffer one more year with Onana and then go for Costa. I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. I think it's dangerous. Imagine if you had a decent season and then it came undone because of bad goalkeeping errors. I mean, look, the positive to this pre-season is that we're playing some really what look like bang average Premier League sides. I don't think West Ham will be in the top half. I don't think Everton will be in the top half. And I'm not convinced Bournemouth will be in the top half this year. So they're good confidence building games, but they might leave... It's that balance, isn't it, in pre-season? Like, you can guarantee the negative people will say, well, it's only Bournemouth, West Ham and Everton and Fiorentina. They're not really that good. But then you want to build confidence. Good play by Rasmus. Not that. Not that. That was a shite pass. Make some subs, Ruben. Please. Do you think Heaton will get games, says Alex? No. Big shout out to everybody who's tuned in. If you are on YouTube, just give us a subscribe because we're really close to 131,000. Remember, we're live every morning at 10 a.m. And every evening at 8 p.m. Thanks everyone for tuning in. A few substitutions coming here from Bournemouth now. Everton at 10 o'clock on Sunday is the final game of the pre-season tour. Of course, the Premier League itself starts in 2 weeks. 2 weeks tomorrow, because it's Thursday now, isn't it? Bournemouth will play Liverpool. And if I was Liverpool, I would not be looking at this Bournemouth side thinking it's anything like last year. Ben says, suffering a year with Onana is like suffering a year in Chernobyl. 4 years of watching United with this great community instead of listening to shite TV commentators, says Marco. Once you try, you never go back. Scorpio says it'll be a real farewell for De Gea on the 9th. Well, only what he deserves, pal. It's shocking, really, that we never did it. Here's Ahmad. Bournemouth on the attack. Ooh, was that Casemiro late again? Bloody hell. Hit the bar, Bournemouth. You know what? Casemiro is just not quick enough. Even in a game where we're 3-0 up, he is still playing in slow-mo. You can't use him in the Premier League. Can't use him in the Premier League this season. He's got to be like a last resort. That's over the bar. I mean, to be fair, statistically, I mean, they've only had 4 chances, really. Is that right? Let me get that going round again. Stats carousel should have started going round a long time ago. There we go. Lamarck says, awesome to see Mark on Twitch. I hope he's here for every game. Will 100% have my Twitch Prime if he is. Yeah, if you want to subscribe on Twitch, you can do it through Amazon Prime for free. Thanks to those who have, and thanks everyone who's given us a follow there. Appreciate it. We are back for the Everton game on Sunday on Twitch as well. Did Onana not travel, says Eden. No, Onana is there. He's there. Martin Richards. Bruno has 3 players upfield of him, whether he's at 10 or 4-3-3 or at 8 in 3-4-3. It's not that much of a difference, but the rest need to do the job. Well, no, it is a big difference, Martin. If he's playing in a midfield pivot of a 2, he has a job to do as a midfielder. Imagine having watch-alongs like this in 2008, says Riz. Oh, yeah. To have a good season would be great. I do think Mbeumo will play against Everton, Alex, yes. Harry Maguire went off at half-time, Kev. Why is Casemiro not being sold, says X? Because no one will buy him, mate. Do you prefer croissants or lasagna, says King Pigeon? Well, I don't mind croissants, but apparently Rasmus got the second goal. Looked like Ahmad's goal to me. K-Stone, welcome to Members Club. Lasagna over croissants for me every day of the week, yeah. As Fatty B53 says, ain't nobody taking that Casemiro salary. And that's true. FP Moody says Mount's been good. I think it's irrelevant, mate. I mean, look, he ain't going to start, is he? So I've said it before, and I think at this stage of the season, you've got to be honest, haven't you? Like, what role does Mason Mount play? And if he does have a first team role, why did we buy Cunha and Mbeumo? I don't really understand spending £130 million on Cunha and Mbeumo and then, you know, utilising Mason Mount. Especially when we haven't bought a bloody goalkeeper. I mean, look, that baffles me. If we start using Mason Mount in the first team, I would say, why did we spend 130 million on Mbeumo and Cunha if we're going to use Mount? Because we could have used that on a goalkeeper. So I presume Mason Mount won't play that much because it makes no sense to me why you'd buy those players that we bought and not a goalkeeper. But where I think Mason Mount and Xerxes and maybe Mainu or Agate, depending on who starts next to Bruno. I think Delo, where I think these sort of players become valuable is in the last half an hour of games. So, you know, if Cunha or Mbeumo or Ahmad are tired and you can bring Mason Mount on for half an hour, I think that's important. That can be game-changing. Good play by Bournemouth. Good tackle by Bruno. Good defensive work. 22,000 is amazing at this time, so soccer only. Well, global audience, you're very welcome. Thank you. Make sure you subscribe. Appreciate it. Captain Waka has subscribed with Prime on Twitch. Appreciate that, pal. You can do that for free if you've got Amazon. Don't forget, Mount is very injury prone. Well, yeah, hopefully he can stay fit. Still 20 minutes to go. Hasn't made any subs yet, apart from the Maguire one at half time. Think there's a hint in Onana not playing yet. Well, he's injured. Oh, here we go. Whole team of subs coming on here now. Mainu, Agate, Leon, Collier. I think Kone's coming on. Just having a quick look. Obi's coming on. I'm sure I saw Kone there. Did anyone else spot Kone there? I thought he was in the dugout. Amram looks happy with his team. Yeah, Kone is on. Just trying to see where he's playing. Yeah, think there's a hint in Onana not playing yet, says Eden. Yeah, he's injured. Cunha has fatigue, so he couldn't play. I am Mr. Pickles. Salman says, remember the career mode days? I loved it, mate. It was great. Sneak energy. Good times. Hamza says, Casemiro might be slow, but we need his leadership. We definitely don't. Can you see analytics of where the current live audience is watching from? These subs will be interesting, says Matt. Not live, no. I've seen enough, Mark. We're winning the league and the cup double this year, says Ian Ramos. Here's good play by Leon. Oh, he falls over. I need to keep my mouth shut. Goal! Who's that? I don't even know who scored the goal. Leon fell over, so it wasn't Leon. Williams with the goal. There we go. 4-0. Took it well. We're back. Yeah, good driving run by Leon. Sort of fell over his own feet. Bournemouth don't get rid of it and then takes his chance well. Williams. Took it well. Julian still says we're going to win the league. Still got 20 minutes to go here. Bournemouth look absolutely shattered. Oh my God. Go on then. Oh, I thought Obi was going to score a worldie then. He took 3 players out and then the ball sort of got stuck under his feet. Lovely feet though. I like what I see so far, says Javier Hernandez. Scorpio says we've got 2 legit options on the left now with Leon and Dorgu. What go on, says J Drums. Hope all is well. Been a while since I tuned in. Looking forward to some football this season with you all. Thank you, pal. Andrew Hall says, long time viewer, first time super chat. Biggest positive for me this off season has been the left wing back position. Dorgu really impressive and Leon looks promising. Dorgu has looked very impressive. I agree. Marco's been watching this. Done that one, haven't we? Bowie says, Bruno doesn't have the discipline and tidiness needed to play consistently in the pivot role, especially for this system. It's a no wastefulness role. Dorgu, 100% man of the match, says Z3 Music Official. If this is what we can expect from a player that fits in the system after 6 months, I can wait for the future. I can't wait. Lucas says, that was from Z3 Music Official. Lucas says, we said after the Europa League final we needed 6 to 8 good signings in the summer. Are we really going to be happy with 3, maybe 4? Never mind outgoings. Miles says, 22,000 watching. What a shift, everyone. Thank you to everyone tuning in. AB says, any plans to do any more interviews like Rasmus? Club have got to let you do it, mate. That's the biggest problem. Pieface is the best, says, in my opinion, Rasmus has been class tonight. Thank you very much for that. If you are still watching on Twitch, make sure you give us a follow. Back for the Everton game on Sunday. When do you think we'll get the Cesco deal done, says Gurav? Oh, well, everyone can answer that because I've got no idea. I mean, this is just guesswork and I hope I'm wrong. I think it's going to be after the weekend before we start properly negotiating with Leipzig. They will drive a hard bargain. I think it's going to be tough to have that deal done for Arsenal. Let's put it that way. 2 weeks on Sunday we play Arsenal. I think it's going to be tough. It could be, mate, it could be like back end of August, if we're being honest. Top 5 looks possible once a week playing like this. Well, this is, Bradley, this is what I mean. It's like, I just think that like the top 4 are nailed on. But I think 5th place you will get Champions League football. Villa haven't strengthened. Spurs really haven't strengthened. Brighton haven't really strengthened. Bournemouth are weaker. Fulham haven't strengthened. Forest, can they replicate that again? Newcastle can't strengthen. So it is there, but we've got to do more. Like, you know, it's one thing beating Bournemouth 4-0 in a pre-season game when you've got like a much better squad than them. It's another thing beating them in the Premier League. So, you know, you can't get carried away with pre-season. but you can take some momentum from it. We need a goalkeeper, and we need a striker, and we need a midfielder, and then I think we'll just have to see how it goes. But we're absolutely fine when we go in front in games as well. I said it's at half time. The confidence we have when we go in front is absolutely fine. Good run there by Agate. Real quick, wasn't he there? I think people will misunderstand how quick Agate actually is as well. What position's Kone playing in? I can't. Did he come on? I haven't even noticed him. Mainu in the 10, don't see him in the 8 this season, says Kieran. Well, he doesn't want to be in the number 10 because we've got too many. I don't think Kone came on, did he? No, he didn't come on. No. Somebody said that in the chat. Is there a match preview after? There's a reaction. D13. Checking to see if you'll read this or allergic, says as Island Boy. Thank you very much, pal. I have said millions of times before on a watch along. Sometimes some get missed, unfortunately. Working from home today, moved meetings around so I can watch the game on the couch, says Peter. Love your work and love the community. Thank you, Peter. Tom says it's refreshing to see United players hungry. Does Amrim not rate Kone? Well, I don't really understand it, Aidan, because I'd been told that we were going to loan Kone. Then they were like, we're not going to loan him. We see him as part of the first team squad. And then we've not used him for 1 minute. So I would have thought we would have used him. Still 2 games to go, as Alex says, yes. Do you think it will be Cesco or Tadarit Sarr? Love from Seattle, says USA. Thank you, Ali. Let's sign Dorgu's brother, says Murio. Robert McCormack says, no wonder Donnarumma wants to come. United Kitchen says, we're cooking. Top 5, done that, haven't we, Bradley? Thank you. 10 minutes to go. It won't be a long match reaction. It'll be, you know, because we've got a 10 o'clock show in the morning as well. And Beth will be putting stuff up. Do you think we can beat Arsenal opening day? Mate, I've been saying this for a long time. I just don't subscribe to the view that we're going to get beat by Arsenal on the opening day. They're better than us. Of course they're better than us. But 75,000 fans, excited about a new season, Premier League opener. You can catch teams cold. If we scored first, we can beat anyone on our day. And I've seen so many teams win the league but lose their first game of the season. So Arsenal are better than us. It doesn't mean we can't beat them on the opening day. And Arsenal fans know that as well. Like, it's very difficult to say opening day we're going to win because we're better than you. It doesn't always work like that. It would be great for us to start off with a win as well, because we are a team about confidence. We're weak mentally, aren't we? We know that. So starting off well is really, really important. Arsenal will be favourites in that game, but I think it's so important that we start well. I don't think it's end of the world. Well, I don't want to lose to Arsenal, but I don't think it will be the end of the world if we do. I don't think our season's over. That's not what we're aspiring to be. But I don't think there's any reason why we couldn't get something. But teams like Bournemouth can't compete with this. Like, we've just got so much, such a big squad. Ref's been a right prat, says Jamie. Excellent work, Mark, says Vadja Bond. Thank you very much. I'm really excited for Obi. Can't wait to see his future, says Lars. Anana's played well off the pitch tonight, says Love-Hate Games. Zeno says, Mainu looks like he's gone back to the slim build again. He looks sharp and lighter. Yeah, good point, Zeno. A lot of people last season were saying he looked a bit slow. Cesco to Man United, Isak to Liverpool, and Newcastle with no striker, says Gareth. Jordan says, Leon looks incredibly strong. What do you think? Well, I'm very happy with Dorgu, and if we've got, and if this Leon's going to be good as well, he's obviously, Amorim obviously sees Leon as further forward than Amas, so, you know, we've got two good options there, haven't we? I think the interesting thing for me is that in both games we've not really been tested defensively. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, it's a good thing that we're not being tested. How we doing, Mark? Says Sky Blue Darts. I'm doing well, pal. Thank you. Thank you very much. Rookie says Newcastle for Watkins if we get Cesco. I think that's a logical move for them, yeah. I mean, to be fair, Bournemouth, a bit like West Ham, have kept a lot of their best players on, haven't they? Because they don't have the squad to bring on like what we've got. Juan says you look tired. I mean, I think that's quite logical, mate. It is 4:15 in the morning. Good tackle, Agate. 1 draw and 2 wins in pre-season. Common factor in those 3 games, no Onana. He can't start against Arsenal, says Mr. J. I think we would have still won these games with an Onana in goal because it's pre-season, and I don't think this is the... you know, the level that we're going to have to play at. I don't think there's been a lot to do for the goalkeeper, so I don't think Onana would have made a massive amount of difference. You are the Liverpool channel. You love it, says Gareth. Okay. Andre says Mainu is still slow. Any chance we get Belieber? Also, I prefer Watkins. We still look a bit dodgy defending corners, says Swallier. No. There's no indication that we're getting Belieber at this moment in time. Right. I'll tell you what, I sometimes do this during the season. Match reaction title. What are you going with? Amorim Masterclass? Too soon. Delightful Dorgu, says Heya Joe. 4 goals and a dream. 21 is coming. Oh God, no. You know I'll get cooked for that. Delightful Dorgu. Dorgu Masterclass. We're back. Yeah, I'm leaning towards Dorgu because I think he deserves a bit of credit. I have a bit of a story on that one as well. I don't want to over egg the pudding. I don't like great improvement, masterclass. I think that 4-0's nice in pre-season, but and God, do we need some positivity out in the States because we were shit there last year. But I do think Bournemouth are poor. They don't look anything like last season, really. I think they might struggle this year, Bournemouth, actually. Progress, yes. Double Danish. I see they are doing well without Garnacho, says Nathan. Oh, we've conceded. Own goal. Delete. I mean, somebody was saying that Collier's had a good game. I think he got absolutely roasted here by, is it Brooks? There's not a lot De Ligt can do. I think it's just Agate loses a 50-50. No, he just goes past the young defender, and then Collier can't get there either. Yeah, just De Ligt turns it in. Well, well, yeah. Is what it is. Not the end of the world. Tell you what though, one little thing I would add is that, have you noticed how Harry Maguire never seems to play longer than an hour these days? Who scored the goals for Man United? Ooh. That keeper's crap for Bournemouth, you know. Not messing about. He's absolutely shite. Chelsea have pulled another masterclass there. Are you going to be playing FIFA again? Says Albania. I plan to give EAFC 26 a go. I give it a go every year. Julian says my mum watches quite a bit when she can. Can you call her a prat? Julian's mum, you're a prat. Rasmus Dorgu, Ahmad Williams. Yeah. Thank you very much for that. Hey, Joe and Alex. That's full time. That's full time. There we go. Full time. We're finished. Brilliant. Okay. Big up. We were joined by people from Twitch today as well. So big up to them. Please do give us a follow on there because we've gone past 285,000, but we're only 40 away from 285,500. We will have you with us again for the Everton game on Sunday night at 10 o'clock. You've been absolutely fantastic. Really appreciate having you with us. YouTube, make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner. And we have, let me make sure I've set it up. I don't think I've turned it to bloody idiots. I think I've kept it on private. Let me have a look. I have. Okay, the match reaction wasn't set up, but is now. I will be giving you my thoughts in a couple of minutes on the match reaction. Let me just put a redirector onto it for you. And then some of us can go and get a couple of more hours sleep. But good win for United. I'll give you my thoughts. I've took some notes and I'll see you over there in a minute. Thanks for watching.